back to the online one star. Could you let us know if the audio is clear or not? Just type in yes or no so we can adjust it before we begin class. Rob back, Mukdal. How you doing today?
All right.
Good. Rob back, Mukdal back. Always. We'll be starting in a minute. Again, if you could type in if we can hear the audio clearly, and we'll begin shortly. Back Cam, let us know if the audio is good, all right? Type in yes or no so we can get started. Zamal-tat.
Robert. Welcome to another question and answer class. My name is Khafre, student teacher of the master teacher. And welcome again. We're going to start class off with the pledge. Pa Rahan Shalal Wu-Sabat, the pledge of safety. Nakuk Rahum Tayuan Leye Wu-Sabat. Shalal Patahura Musbat Shabat. Wahu Musa Tahet Musbat Wu Masa. Kare Saho Rakuk Saho Hakuk Saho Fahu. Lahek Kalel Saho Fahu. Kare Jamut Saho Nakush. Pledge of a Savior. I pledge allegiance to Wu-Sabat of the United Sabian tribe. One family under Sirius and Orion, with correct right knowledge, knowing right wisdom, and right understanding. For all right overstanding with sound, solid, right reason. That, do we have any questions before we start?
Nothing online yet.
So, I'll do a reading, right? Or a lesson. So this lesson is from the master teacher. It's called Mufwaju Jawef Pa Papyrus Wu Pa Quran. That's to say, aliens inside the Bible and the Quran. Number one, over time, those who inscribed the books of the religions of Adamites, from Moses to Muhammad, to Prophet Joseph Smith Jr. 2. These books took many years. These books took many changes. First, they lost or destroyed the originals. Then, those who claimed to remember part or all did not speak their original languages. 5. Then much that they did not accept or even know about was rejected and left out of what is being called the Bible, the Quran, and the books of the Mormons. 6. Most devotees to the religions today, Abrahamism, 1. Mosesism, 2. Jesusism, 3. Mohammedism, hold in their hands and read mistranslations of mistranslations, have never ever seen the original or the original languages. 7. So what was meant to be received by the Adamite race and those other races who accept those religions? 1. Jewishism, 2. Christism or Christianism, 3. Muslimism. Don't have a clue who revealed the originals of which they don't have. 8. When you speak of them about their prophets, angels, messengers, deities, messiahs, they only have names, new names, and very vague information on those they follow, such as exactly when and where was the man Adam born. They don't have a clue. The exact same if you were to ask about this man. Do you have one shred of confirmed evidence that he ever really existed? They, if honest, will have to say no, not one. And the exact same it would be if you asked of Eve, Cain, Abel, Seth, Enos, on to Noah, Abraham, Ishmael, Isaac, Esau, Jacob, Levi, Moses, Aaron, Joshua, David, Solomon, Adonijah, on to Mary, Joseph, John the Baptist, Jesus, on to, and yet, all he did was read and study the stories passed down to him, change the languages from Hebrew, Greek, Latin, Persian, to his own dialects of Arabic, Quraysh, of his own personal tribe, so he could not confirm what he was taught, given, heard, only repeat them in his own holy books, Al-Quran, the Quran, put together after his death by his followers, the original he claimed he had received between the year 610 AD to 632 AD. Again, the original was destroyed and parts lost. So Muslims of any and all sects, likewise, as Jews and Christians, have never ever seen nor read the original of the holy books they claim came from the deity or angel or prophets, be they called in Hebrew Elohim, meaning gods, Genesis 1:1, Yahweh, meaning Lord, Genesis 4:26, or Elion, meaning the Most High, Genesis 14:19. Or in Arabic, Alihat, or Allahs, Quran 7:38, or Rab, meaning Lord, in Quran 1:2, or Allah, Most High, Quran 87:1, or in Greek, Theos, deities, John 10:34, or Kyrios, Lord, Luke 14:22, or Hosistos, Most High, Luke 1:32. When you ask them about the plural of their God, as it's seen in Bible and Quran, remember, they don't have the original in the original scripture or in the original script. And they know originally there was no grammar or vowel marking in the original because they were not recorded until after the death of those who claim to have received them. So, no vowel marks, no dots, no chapters, no verses, and rearrangements in some parts lost and not entered into what they have now. So they're not sure even how to pronounce their God's name. You read in Bible and Quran the use of pronouns, his, him, he, for, God, Allah, Theos. You read in Bible and Quran the use of pronouns, we, us, for God, for gods, Allahs, deities. They will try and make you a lie, They will try and make up a lie about how it's used for majesty or excellence. That is deception. Elohim is plural, as you read in Genesis 3:5. You see both forms used, Elohim, gods, no, and Ye, Eve, and Adam, and their generations will become A-L, God of the Elohim, gods. It's clear, Psalms 82, 1-8. And it's confirmed that Adam became one of the Elohim, gods, when you read in Genesis 3:22. And the Yahweh of the Elohim, the Lord of the gods, said, behold, the man, Adam, is become as one of us. Also, you read in Exodus 7:1 about Moses. And the Yahweh Lord said unto Moses, see, I have made thee an Elohim of the gods. Strong's number 430, a plural. The Quran of Islam in Arabic does the exact same thing. Use plural for Allah over and over, even dual or two Allahs, yet not really. Under word added in Hebrew is Strong's number 6151, means added or mix or mingle. So Hagar and Abraham. So Hagar, Abraham's son Ishmael, was the very first Arab, and they set up Arabia, and the mixture of Persian, Chaldean, and Napata or Egyptian became Arabic. So, in actual facts, the language mentioned in Genesis 11:1 and the whole planet Earth was of one language or one speech, and that was not Hebrew nor Arabic, which did not exist as of yet. It was the Sumerians. It was Sumerian. As you see, dialects came after this event. Genesis 11:7-9. 1. They confound their language. Strong number 8193. Number 2. The new dialect was called Babylonian because it was confound and spread abroad. So you see, in Mesopotamia, there was only one language at first. Sumerians has been confirmed with cuneiform, wedge script, and this has been found and confirmed as Sumerian stone tablets with the complete history of the making of the Adamites, which they plagiarized to become, in part, Bible and Quran. So, the plural was original, not one God. If El, God of the Elohim, or Yahweh, Lord of the Elohim, gods, be it in Hebrew, Greek, or Latin, or Arabic, they seek to misinform those who will not take the time to check it out, as we, the Nawapians of Wu-Sabat, now do. So, when you ask about their gods, God, they get babbled, confused. They don't know how to explain. You say, what are angels? They don't know. What are devils? They don't know. They just look upward. They have no idea what they worship, not who, What? They base it all on Genesis 1:26-27, that their God must look like them, and they like their God. They even had a Adamite female named Mariam, give birth to a son in their book, who they draw as an Adamite male, a son of the gods, as you also read in Luke 3:23-38, of Adam, son of God, in Genesis 6:2, the sons of God, Job 2:1. So they think their Lord or gods must look like them. They miss that their gods, angels, can be shapeshifters, like Jesus, Moses, Elijah did, Matthew 17:1-3, transfigured. And once again, Jesus shapeshift right in front of one of his close disciples, a female named Mary of Magdalene. She was looking right at him, up and close. And the quote is Samuel 10:6. And he shapeshifted to look like another person. They both knew, the gardener. John 20:15. Looking at her, teacher, savior, as well as wife, who mothered Jesus' 2 children, son and daughter. And she stood right in front of him, facing him, yet did not recognize him. And this being, called an angel being, they call Jibril, was able to take on human form, or a shining bright light, or burning bush of fire, in 2 Corinthians 11:14. Moses, Jesusism, and Mohammedism, that is what each of their religions have on record in their own books. He was a shapeshifter, could transform, transfigure, or so their gods, God, Alihat, Allah, Satan, Shaitan, all must have been able to shapeshift. And that's it. Any
No questions online yet? You have any in the room?
Going once? Yes.
Can you tell me what happened in the garden of Gethsemane?
The Garden of Gethsemane.
Yeah, what happened in that garden?
Okay. You're talking about the story of Jesus and Magdalene and seeing Jesus?
Yeah.
Okay, so so what happened is, we go into the scriptures itself, right? And I'll give you a free scroll that I have online that touches on the whole concept. So what happened is, there's different accounts of what happened when Jesus supposedly died, right? So each of the Gospels, right, give you a different account of what happened the day after he died, or supposedly died. One incident was where Mary of Magdalene, she came with, let's say, Joanna and other women, and they all went to the sepulchre, right? And they went there to see. And what happened is, one incident, they saw 2 men they saw the whole stone moved already. And they went in to see if he was there, body wasn't there. One incident, Mary's like, where's the body? 2 men are standing there, which they would probably say angels are standing there in all white, and told them that he's gone, he ascended. You understand? So in the Garden of Gethsemane, what happened is, that's another incident, right, where Mary goes over there to find Jesus, and she runs into a man. And this man that she ran into was Jesus himself. However, she didn't recognize him. At a certain point of her talking to him, she finally realized that it is him. You understand? And when she realized it was him, he told her, don't touch me, because she got excited. She was like, Rabboni, Rabboni, because she was under the impression that he got crucified, right? So he told her, don't touch me, but go back and tell the other disciples that I have ascended. So in other words, he told her to lie for him. Go tell the disciples that I ascended. And that's really what took place. And like I said, if you read the other Gospels, it's going to give you a different account of the same incident. And all the stories are different. You understand? So what actually happened when Jesus died. I mean, the day after he supposedly got crucified. But we know in reality that that person wasn't crucified in those scriptures. But that's the story that they like to tell everybody else.
We have a question from Don Marys, Rabat. He's asking what is the name of that reading?
It's called Aliens Inside the Bible and the Quran. Questions?
Nothing online yet.
Yes.
I would just know, why do the alien need to reprogram the human genome and disperse?
Why do the aliens need to reprogram the human genome? Okay. So, aliens in terms of the gods of the scriptures, right? The Anunnakis, right? So, we know that when we're talking about those concepts, these beings would want to reprogram the humans for their own purpose, right? So, if you was a child of the Netzil, which most Nagaros should be, right? We know that some of them are not. But if you are, there's a certain way for you to be, right? That's according to your DNA, right? However, if another being exists and they wanted to trigger the aspect of your nature, before they could trigger it, they first have to mix in with you. That's why when you study all cultures of the world, especially Africans, you'll notice that people always was dipping into their genes. And what was the purpose of dipping into the genes of the original Africans? So that they can have the genes of other than self and kind. So once they have the genes of other than self and kind, it can trigger what we would term as evil being fair seeming. Right? What that mean? Things that are evil, it can now appear to you like it's good. So once they got into our genes, right, which is altering the genetics or the genome of the person, that their genes being inside of us give us certain natures inside of us that's not natural to us. So now you could be inclined to do something that you're not supposed to do that's according to your natural nature. Like today, for instance, BABAH gave an example one time. He said, if a black person, right, decides to, let's say, sell drugs to another black person, he said that wasn't in our nature at one time. You understand? We wouldn't have the nature to say, I'm going to sell some poison to my brother or sister just because it's going to make me money. It wasn't in us at one point. But when you have the oppressor in you, and they also put you in dilapidated positions where you need money, you figure, hey, I'm not taking it, I'm just doing my job to make my money. But that's the mentality of somebody that's been infiltrated genetically. You know what I'm saying? When a black woman looks in the mirror and says, I don't like my woolly hair, and puts on a wig with straight hair, that's not the natural thing in the African genome. However, after years of mixing and propaganda through television or social media, that black woman now, whether she realizes it or not, she has an inferiority complexity where she don't like herself, right? She don't like how her hair looks. She don't like her natural features. You know what I'm saying? To the point they had this thing where in our culture, because not our culture, Sabians, but as black people, right? That's been under the spell. They had this affinity to try to intentionally mix their seed because they wanted children that was lighter complected and with curlier hair, right? Or I should say less curly hair, right? Because woolly hair is curly hair, right? But they wanted this look, children with lighter eyes because they think that's more prettier. This is all genetic infiltration in order to alter a person. Also, religion was an aspect of altering your genetics as well, because you can't alter genetics through tones, frequency, and vibration. So we know that the religious aspect was to what? Get us to the point where we can be a part of the original purpose of religion. What is that? Food for the gods. So the food, the seasoning process, the same way a person would season their food to taste good, well, they had a concept where they utilized information as a frequency. Because remember, reading words, those words are frequencies and tones of vibration. And these tones of vibration can alter a person and have them have concepts in their mind that's not even realistic. As we was reading in the reading.
Right.
And what's the source of it? Most people who are religious, they don't know. But all this alters a person or alters a race of people to be on the menu of these gods. You know what I'm saying? So all these type of concepts is what help, all the reasons why some extraterrestrials would want to alter the genes or the genomes of certain humans for their own purpose. Yes.
Another question I have to ask is about the virus. The virus to alter human DNA, like COVID, it was alien. It was for alien to eliminate special genetic DNA. So, what DNA are they eliminating?
Specifically? Cool. I don't know. You know the gene from the COVID they were trying to specifically eliminate?
No, the way the extraterrestrials sent COVID to address or attack the genetic markers. So those markers were the ones that was for the Adamu Salau. And they did that with the ACTG that we built on last week. So last week.
No.
You go ahead. You know the ATCG.
So as my brothers stated, the COVID virus was sent for a specific genome, particularly the Adamites, right? So what happens is in the I'll do this like this: apple tree, car in a garage. AT, right? That's adenine and thymine, and car, cytosines, and garage. Guanine, right? So what happens is that's the language of DNA. So when you're going into DNA, they have specific language or names for the strands of DNA. So when you look at let's say the double helix of DNA, those stairs is going across. One stair is always, one A is always connected to a T, and one C is always connected to a G. And that's how the DNA is made up. Unless it's RNA, then it gets changed to uracil. That's another step, or half a step, like I say, on the chain of DNA strand. So let me show you.
Yeah, he knows how to work that. Yeah, he told me that last week. I was rolling.
So,
Yes, yeah.
if I can spell it correctly, hopefully I spell it correctly.
It's in a couple of scrolls. We'll find it.
Things like that.
Yeah.
So, if this was DNA, they usually show you DNA like this, right? And usually on the DNA, it's like this. 2 lines. I'm just showing you these lines. These are the steps, right? And on those steps, anytime there's an A here, there's always going to be a T, symbolic of those first letters. And if there's a C here, it's going to be a G here. And this would be the DNA strand, and so forth. Just so. That's just your DNA.
So it was sent, this sperm was sent for one
They're sent specifically for the Adamites genome. However, was Negaros getting affected?
Two of them.
So what does that mean? That Negaros have Adamite genes in them.
Inside.
Right? So some Negaros were affected by COVID, right?
Right.
And there you go. Not me, let me stop. My bad.
Was the Massachusetts specific on which extraterrestrial sent that?
Which one? I don't know. You got that?
It was mentioned in an update, but I have to see if we can find it for class.
I heard about the update, but I just didn't know if it was specific, if it was sent to the Adamites.
Right.
Right.
I think it was the Palladians, but again, I want to double check that for you.
Yeah.
Because they are the ones who participated the most in the making of them.
Yeah.
And they, so I'll check and see if we can find it for in the class. Sure.
Yes.
Next question is, what alien that the canine report back to, which alien group that the canine report back to? Does it say the canine has connection to the extraterrestrial? I'm not sure.
I don't know. You got that? You got information on that? Yeah.
Oh, he said who it came
You
from.
got-
To the side.
You got information on that?
No, I never heard of that.
I never heard of that either. That who the canine report to?
I guess the question is coming from the fact that we may put in our books something in the nature of if you have a dog in your house, they're watching you,
Right,
and
oh
reporting
yeah.
back. So she probably
I
asked.
thought it was that they attract 60 beings.
This is, they were their action listen.
You said, it says, where are you reading from?
I'm reading from 33 commandments.
The 33 Commandments? Okay.
I don't know. I never heard him say exactly who was being by.
Can you read what it says? Oh, you don't have it with you?
I have it.
Okay.
I gotta find the page. I was just going on top of my head, but I found the page.
Okay.
You got parts of that 33 commandment?
33 commandments, yes, sir. That right there, the top blue one, on the small stack, that's it. Yeah.
Yes?
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, okay. You
You
know,
think of the hashtag sexual commandments.
which
You said 33.
Slate 29.
Isn't that the blue one?
Yeah.
The little small
Yes.
blue one?
Yeah. It's kind of rough. Yeah. My bad.
Okay.
Okay. Check on page 74.
74.
Page 74, verse 11. So you probably saw from 10 or so.
Okay. So I'll read from the beginning. It's called Truth is Truth, right? Sorry. No. I am who I am. Be very careful. All the news and TV shows are set up by mind control of aliens. They are now studying the nature of unnatural nature of people, of all races, to manipulate them. These TV shows are set up to examine the minds of our people. They are planning to mix and intermix all kinds of people and how they act, react, and think. So, they have been given the freedom to express their inner selves. It's not about age or race or gender or neuter gender. Many people used in these TV shows are skinwalkers. That is, extraterrestrials in human image pretending. Also, canines are being used by aliens to observe families and persons' interaction daily. The Project Europe and America is completed. The aliens now know their choice of people to rule next. The aliens are restocking the planet, waters, caves, and air with new DNA and creatures for the next world, life of Earth. The aliens are reprogramming the human genome by sending spores and megaphax viruses to alter human DNA. This virus is coronavirus, or COVID-19, sent by aliens to eliminate a specific genetic DNA, the beginning of their end. So to answer your question, it still will go back to them same beings who sent the COVID, right? So that's what it's keep on talking about, and the same things. And we don't know who those aliens are. But Sobek said he's going to try to look for that update.
Yeah, I'm looking for it. Thank you, Zamal-tat. Appreciate it. Right. Yeah, perfect. Yeah, it'll let me know. You no questions?
Yes.
Okay. You have more questions in the room? Go ahead. Go ahead.
My question is, Zamal, okay, so these beings, right? Like I was watching a video one day, and this family was in their house or whatever, and they had a dog, and for some strange reason, the dog seen the being, and they didn't see it. My question is, and then the being, the being came into the dog and possessed the dog. And my thing is like, if they're seen by dogs and and dogs get possessed by them, and they try to attack the human beings, why does that happen?
Because unlike humans, animals don't have a resistant element that humans have in them. Even the ancient ones oftentimes will incarnate into an animal because they're less likely to fight against the spirit entering them. So that the dog is used because what? Most animals they can see on higher levels, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whereas humans can do it if they learn to raise their vibration, right? So that's the whole thing with animals have a less resistance to a spirit being coming or utilizing their body for incarnation. Yes.
So, it's just, it's funny how a dog they can feel danger way before it gets to them, because I noticed, that was yesterday, I was in the park, and this guy, keep hitting his dog, I don't see anything. So I'm like, what is he barking? But the guy where I was sitting was way down the hill from the dog. But the dog luckily was having a fit. And I looked, and I seen the guy with this big snake around his neck. And he put the snake on the grass and just watched the snake fall back to him. And I'm like, what is he doing? And once he left the park, the dog just walked just peaceful, like there's no more threat to me. Like he felt that something wasn't right, and he was up the hill. So even a dog, if we had the power, start tuning into our own, so we would have us imagine the power that human would have. You know, it's just amazing how they can hear and they can feel things.
Yep.
You know.
And that's why in ancient time we had a deity who wore the dog lines. Nope. We had a deity in Tamaré, ancient Tamaré too, who wore the jackal, which is a Anu, right? That's all the symbolism of their ability to see into other worlds or other dimensions. But we as ancient Tamarians or Egyptians, we knew how to do that too. And even us in this culture today, the tools that the Master have given us, if we utilize it, we will be able to do the same thing. We do it on the lower level, meaning sometimes you feel fear and you get those fear bumps or goosebumps that they call them, right?
That's right.
That's letting you know that something is there that you're uncomfortable with, yet you can't see it, right? But if you was on a higher spiritual level, you'll be able to see it. Whereas
That right there is frightening, and that's what kills us, kill our power, because we can see, sometimes you can see things, and it's frightening that when you see it, you like, and you look, and it's like it disappears, but you know what you see, and it's like the fear makes you kill that power that you do. Tap into that power.
before I go online?
Oh, yes.
My question, right, is about what she was saying. Like, certain spirits, right, that is on the higher level, even if they're on the higher level and they out in this world and we can't see them. My question is, when we do get our powers back, will we be able to see them so that we can avoid the dangers that they come with?
Would you be able to? Yeah. If you can see it, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because it's just like, when we talk about things that we can see on a spiritual level, it's no different from things you can see on a physical level. It's just that you will have the eyes to what? See the disembodied image.
Right.
Right.
So just like you have your physical eyes now that can take this light and make the image appear before you, you'll be able to do that with spiritual or things that are on a less density level. Right? If you saw a person that was evil in the physical, would you go to them? Or would you
Nah.
get out their way?
I got the way.
So when you get on that level and you're able to see spiritual beings, it's the same thing.
Right.
You can avoid those type of beings. However, Baba said this one time too. Once you get to the point of being able to see them, and they know that you can see them,
There you go.
then they're going to get in your way.
There you go.
Ah, I see.
There you go.
That means now they're going to bother
Right.
you. Because they know you can see them.
Right.
At this point, where we at now, most of us,
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
yeah. So once they know you can see them, they're going to bother you now. And other beings going to bother you. All type of beings that know that you can see them. I remember Baba had a class he was teaching. He was like, many beings come to him.
True.
But he knows how to utilize psychic self-defense to decide what beings he would allow to utilize it. You know what I'm saying? So we have to learn the same thing.
Yeah.
To say, learn psychic self-defense. So once you get to that level, a being doesn't possess you some type of way. You know what I'm saying?
We have a question online. A couple of them.
Hold on. Yeah, question.
Oh, hey, room first. I hear that. What about that?
All right. Say, for instance, like, you could be walking and you could see someone that, like it's like had an accident, but you can see them getting hit and everything, but then you look for the person that you don't see. Is that the time that they got hit at that point, or, and then you pan and you see it? How was that?
So when a person goes through a tragic accident, they get stamped in time.
Right.
So that is a stamp, and you may, if you're able to see it, you may be seeing at that cycle of the time that it may have happened.
Mhm.
Because that person is in a loop, how Baba taught it.
Mhm.
So they're in a loop until they get out of that loop. Because a tragic accident, like let's say a car accident, where a person just dies just like that, that person gets stamped in time, and they keep reliving that moment over and over and over until they learn how to get out of it.
Is there a prayer that you could say to release their soul from that spot?
Not, you got some question?
I mean, I remember, not too long, we was in Georgia. The young man was a side hotel, that's what it was, yeah, he had the accident, and I don't know what hit him, a truck or whatever hit him, and he transitioned, and he was, like you say, his father and his stepmother was saying that he was trapped, and they would go back and they would see him there at that spot, and they would go back and see him. So they had wrote to Baba at that point, and he gave them something to say, go back and say that to release his spirit from that spot. But I'm figuring out, I wonder, could that same prayer work for somebody else or just for him? Sometimes some things is just for that person, it may not work for the next person.
Yeah, you definitely have to find out from the master teacher.
Mhm.
You don't know.
Yeah. Because, I mean, usually you ask Bob something specific to what you're asking, who you're asking about, and that's for that person. If it's something generalized, then it'd probably be one of the spiritual books. But like Zamal said, that's something you have to ask him to personally expound on.
Well, I asked him for
Mhm.
during the hands-on school.
Yeah.
Up on Bush Street, was up all the way to the two, but there was two beans not working in the store, and it was like 3 in the morning. This car was speeding. I mean, this guy was really speeding like going over 100. He hit that big thing in the middle.
Mhm.
And I remember Bobby said, he gone, and he said, y'all heard that? And I was in the store, so we all heard it at working in the store at night. And it was like he's gone, it's nothing for him. But then I remember he sent some brothers up there to, I guess it was to release his soul from
Right.
that area, from that hole that he hit. So I'm just trying to figure out there if there's prayers that for people that being tragic, that their family member could say to release them. That's why, because it's two people that I've seen very giving them prayers and say to the family.
The only prayers that I'm aware of is the ones for the deceased and the unvisible.
The funeral rites.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. But I don't know if it would apply to someone who's had a
The
tragic
trauma,
accident.
yeah. You have a question? You want that?
Oh, just two things. But to kind of touch on or address what we was saying, I remember one thing he suggested before. I don't know about the prayers, but he did used to say that when that happens to people, he used to tell like certain civilians if they have family that sorry. He is saying that to certain people, he has mentioned before to civilians, certain family in the tribe who had relatives who he may have told them, hey, they didn't come to me, so they're trapped. He used to tell them to get a shaman. The shaman can free them. Of course, that would be up to your discretion how you go about that. But he used to suggest to a couple family members that shamans can go and free. If he didn't give them something to do,
Right.
he was saying get a shaman because it can free the spirit of the person or the soul of the person. But my question was going to be, in like example that Umi gave, what about if can their ancestors free them, like a relative that's already transitioned? If they're there at the moment that that person transitioned, can they take them off that loop themselves, or they actually have to go through that loop?
I don't know.
Yeah, I was, the understanding I got is they will have to go through it and burn it out. Because oftentimes, like Zamal was saying, if it's traumatic, sometimes they don't even reason out yet that they transitioned. And then when that hits them, that's the second stage of shock, that they have transitioned so tragically, and they just keep going over that same moment in time that they become stamped. But as their consciousness expands, as it will for all of us, then they learn to burn that out, and then they can go on. But I don't know about, again, I'd have to ask Bob.
That would mean like a lot of people would be trapped though, right? Because a lot of people transition tragically.
They call it
It's
disembodied
rare that you
spirits.
find them like, yeah, it's rare that people transition nowadays to quote unquote natural causes. Everyone's always, so that means a lot of people would not be with their ancestors. Or even when we talk about our ancestors, we talk about calling your 30 spirits or calling relatives on the other
Right.
side. They could still be going through a loop that they're not released from, right?
I think that most of us on the physical, I'm coming on. Most of us on the physical, most of us don't do spiritual exercise to really make contact with our ancestors.
Right.
So one of the biggest things the Master be telling us is make your contact, because we're talking spirituality.
Right,
Spirituality sounds like spookism to most people.
right,
But if you personally know that you're talking to your grandmother, your father, your mother who may have passed away right now,
Right.
and you always talk to them,
right.
I'm just saying, using sound right reasoning,
Mhm.
wouldn't they be looking out for you and know that you're in that loop to call you like, hey,
Yeah.
wake up so I can help you? The
Wake
same way you're born on this side, you're born in the physical, and family members are there, right? So when you transition on that side, there's family members, if you are doing your spiritual exercise, making a connection, even though you're connected, I mean an awareness that you
Right.
really are connected,
Right.
that you talk to them,
Right.
right? That you have conversations with a family member in the etheric realm.
Mhm.
They're watching you and helping you and guiding you in your life. So at the moment of your death, they're going to know.
Mhm.
So I can only assume that they're going to try to help you
Right.
get out of that thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because he probably Bible usually says that they're there waiting for you on the other side of
Right.
the transition.
Right.
So I would assume, like you said, if they're there. But then when I hear you saying they're in a loop, it's like, what happened to those people who have relatives on the other side? Maybe they weren't connected or something. I don't know.
Sometimes, like I said, because we have become so physical. We so physical that most of us don't do spiritual exercise. Most of us just think the physical world is what it is, and they got the term called YOLO. Telling people you only live once.
Right.
That's the biggest lie.
Okay, exactly.
Right?
Further
Because
from the
science confirmed that solidity is an illusion.
truth. Right.
Right? So, or they say energy can be created, right? Or they'll hit you with it cannot be destroyed.
Right.
So if energy can't be destroyed, your physical composition, which is a part of energy, on the physical plane is going to eventually decompose, right?
Right.
But the energy that makes you up can't be destroyed.
Mhm.
So where does that go? So what that is confirmation that there is life after your physical life, life after life,
Right.
right? So there's no such thing as death. You just go from one state of existence to another, right?
Right.
So by telling people that you only live once, that is making people, it's setting people up for the trap that go ahead, do everything you want while you're living, and then once you die, you realize you're still living,
Right.
and you're still here on this plane,
Right.
because you can be a etheric being on the physical plane, trapped. That's your disembodied souls
Yeah.
that people are seeing,
Yeah.
right? Because they're stuck here, but they're supposed to elevate. But what if they don't know the knowledge of elevation? What if they don't talk to the ancestors, which most people are not?
Right.
So those people are going to be stuck and trapped on this plane until they wake up, or until a family member tries to wake them up.
Right. Right.
And if they don't, let's say they got attachments, they descend. And they could descend all the way to an animal-like beings. This goes back to scrolls that Bible put out, spirit and life after death scrolls, where he's telling you that if you haven't got your soul or your spirit to a certain level of elevation, when you transition, you can descend.
Yep.
It's not like going down. It's just meaning instead of elevating the planes, you're going down. You know what I'm saying? So it's all about how you see it and how much attachment you have to the physical realm. Yes. You have a question?
Yeah, I have a quick question about reincarnation. So I know the master has reincarnated like multiple times, right, throughout the years. And I know he has incarnated as Thoth or Tahuti. Has he ever like reincarnated into another race? Like another, like, because Thoth is like a Greek. I don't know if are they just claiming it as, are they just claiming him as
Hermes?
yeah, Hermes, yeah.
Okay.
Are they just claiming him, or like he actually like reincarnated into that race? Like,
So just to go back to the beginning of your question, reincarnation versus incarnation, right? We incarnate. Reincarnate means what? Re means what? To do again. Incarnate into what? That's the same vessel. But we know that when a person died, you can't come back in the same vessel.
Right.
So we will say incarnate. So you said it the second time you said incarnate.
Yeah.
So he does incarnate many different times into different Nagaros from what I know, right? Right? So it's a cycle. He's on a certain cycle. So every 24,000 years, he will incarnate into someone from his bloodline.
okay.
So if you think about Dr. York and Tahuti, or who they call Hermes, right? Hermes is just a rendition, the European rendition of Tahuti. But Hermes don't exist. They have made a statue of a person, right?
Okay.
A Caucasian man, but he doesn't exist.
Right.
They made him up because they got that teaching from Tahuti.
So they're just making things.
As they always do.
Yeah.
You understand? But that's one of the names that if you go and study who they say Hermes is, they'll say Hermes wrote the what's that? What is it, Kabbalah?
Kabbalah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so they'll say Hermes wrote the Kabbalah. Well, any person who reads the Kabbalah, right? That book is really what we call the sacred wisdom of Tahuti.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
Because if you go into the Kabbalah and you read it, you'll notice that it talks about the all, right?
And they only have 7.
Only 7.
They only got
But the
7.
sake of wisdom of Tahuti, he rewrote it in this day and time to let you know. He said, let me add 2 more doctrines
Right.
to let you know that's me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm Tahuti. I'm the person they call him 3 times great, or
Right.
Trismegistus, right?
Mhm.
Or who they call Hermes in the Greek culture. But in reality, that person, Hermes, that person don't exist. The real person is Tahuti. And what they do is they take our deities and make images of themselves. It's the same thing how Bob used to say, you see how Martin Luther King is right now? 100 years from now, they'll make him a white person.
Mm-hmm.
You understand?
Mm-hmm.
So they always do this. Take our deities and give them a facelift. Right now in Egypt, they're going to the temples and going to the statues and making them lighter. You know that, right?
Yeah.
Statues that were dark,
Right.
making them lighter. Fixing the nose and making the nose straight. So that when new people in this day and time go to those temples and they see the statues, they think it's not us. You know what I'm saying? So this is something, that's the nature of the Picasso. He's always trying to steal our culture to find a place in all this.
Mm-hmm.
But he doesn't have a place in ancient knowledge. You know what I'm saying? He's a 6,000-year-old being. Very new to the planet. You know what I'm saying? So, Tahuti, or his other names. What's another name for Tahuti?
Melchizedek.
You could say Melchizedek in the Bible, right? But once again, is Melchizedek real in the Bible? No. But in the Bible, that would be the person equivalent to Tahuti.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So, different cultures know about Tahuti because Tahuti is what? The deity of the scribe. You know what I'm saying? He's the scribe of the deities. And he wrote a lot of things. He wrote medical books. He's the one who started the calendar concept, giving us a calendar where, you know, the whole 365 days that we know now really was less than that. It was one of his students who updated the calendar to what we have today. You know what I'm saying? That was YAANAN, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
So he did a lot of great things, and many cultures call him different names. Even in Samaria, he could be called Marduk, right? Similar, right? Or Ningizida. You know what I'm saying? In Sumerian culture. Even in the Pygmy tribe is a name for him. I think it's Greek. It's in the Black Book. I don't know how to pronounce it correctly.
Yeah, I think even the Mexicans have a name too.
Mhm.
Spanish people have
So many cultures have a similar name that ties back to the same being.
You good in the room? All right. So we have a question from Don Murray, Raobat. He starts off with this. I've been seeing a lot of people all over YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, etc., teaching that we are Anunnaki, but using our master teacher's doctrine. I've made comments trying to explain we're not Anunnaki. So his question is, should I leave it alone and not say anything? I just don't like seeing people using Baba's words incorrectly. So he wants to know, should you leave it alone?
I'm going to say this. Most of the time, people using Bible words against Bible's words. If I pick up an older scroll, it is going to say the Anunnakis.
Right, right.
Right or wrong.
That's right.
So what happens is, a lot of people, because of Baba's mission and having schools of thought or schools of Tahuti,
Right.
a lot of his students don't realize when kindergarten is over, it's time to go to the first grade. Right? So a lot of our family members got caught in the school of Sumerianism, right? And when they got caught in the school of Sumerianism, in that school, we was teaching that we were descendants of the Anunnaki. We was teaching that Anu is our Most High. But if you looked in the books while he was teaching it, there's a book called it's called Right Knowledge Scroll.
Our True Roots?
Not Our True Roots. It's called Right Knowledge.
Actually, Right Knowledge.
It's in the same
Okay.
series, yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to show you something. Bob will be teaching the doctrine and at the same time giving you right knowledge at the same time and trying to see how much of you guys going to catch on.
Right.
So in this book, he's talking about the Anunnakis. Yet he put a picture of Ray next to Anu in the same book. But this book is talking about still having connection to the Anunnakis. We were supposed to be like, Bible. You have a picture that says, Anu's the Heavenly Father, the Most High. But then you have a picture of Ray next to him saying, our Heavenly Father. And no one ever caught it. No one ever said, Baba, question.
Right.
Because he could have stopped teaching us Sumerianism a long time
That's
ago.
not the question.
But he do stuff, and I'm going to show you the book too.
On purpose.
Show you the picture.
Let's see what we got.
Look at this picture.
Mm-hmm. Yep, perfect. You got a nice and simple.
Y'all see the picture?
That's on the Holy Tablets, right?
No, this is in right now.
The right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Right next to him.
You see what it says under the name? Our Heavenly Father. Our. Yet, and at this time,
Right.
Bob was teaching about Sumerian culture,
Mm-hmm.
and intertwining us because he always told us this one thing. He said, you guys are made up of 4 races. Y'all remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He said, y'all made up of the Ilils,
Yep.
Nomos, Anunnakis, and the Netsiru.
Yep.
Now, is that a fact or that's made up? Which one is it?
Fact.
It's a fact. It's a fact that we are made up of all those groups. Those 4, he was used to call them the 4 races.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what happened? Just because you made up of all of them is a point in time why that happened. Originally, we didn't have the Anunnakis in our blood. You understand? We didn't have them in our blood. But because they came to this planet, what? 450,000 years ago?
Yeah.
When we already was on this planet for millions of years.
Right.
And what did they do? They started to what? They wanted to create a being.
Right.
So in order to create a being, what did they do? Take beings that already existed.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And what did they do? Mix them with the ape man.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And this is why when you look in the Holy Tablets, there's a picture in there where it talks about coming from the simians.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And it will be a person that looked like a black person. Because some of them was from that strand. That's why some people, when they hear the simian doctrine, they don't feel offended by it.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Right?
Yeah.
So, what happened is it's in our DNA. It's in our genes. So the Anunnaki is in the genes of African people on the planet. Because, or in some, it's in the Makasu genes. Why? Because the Anunnakis is not a race. Right? It's a group of beings that's under the rulership of who? Anu.
Anu.
So they came on this planet and mixed some of their genes with certain beings, mixed other beings with certain animals on the planet, and so forth. So if you want to tell those people or try to help them, you can, but a lot of times it becomes like the school of Islam or Christianity, where a person can only go but so far as their DNA is going to allow them to go.
That's right.
So when we was in the school of Islam, and Baba said, hey, no more Islam. We're going to, let's say, Nubian Islamic Hebrew, right? A little bit of Hebrew and Islam at the same time to officially make the transition to Egyptian Church of Karas.
Right.
Where we like, leave the Quran alone.
Mm-hmm.
The people who saw him teach as an Ansar, he taught it so good, they couldn't conceive that we not the original Muslims.
There you go.
And he always said this, Nagarus are everything and not at the same time. Meaning the ancient people who really practice true Islam, meaning a culture based on peace. Every time when he said we was Muslims, he didn't say we was Muslim because of the Quran. He said because of what it means. One of peace. That's it. You know what I'm saying? Not what that Quran says.
Right.
But he was using it because he knew that the only way to get at our people is to teach them through what they think they know.
Mm-hmm.
And that, at that time was Islam. Then he transitioned over to Christianity and started teaching on the Egyptian Church of Karas, right? And then so forth. Started teaching us Sumerianism before that, right? And then he left Sumerian and started just teaching Egyptian concepts. Now, in the school right now, we'll be teaching about Egypt. Is the Anunnaki still popping up in our story? If you pick an actual fact of, right, are the Anunnakis in those books?
Sure.
Yes. But is he saying that's us today?
No.
Now he's making a line to look. He got us still, right? He says this thing in Islam. He used to say, I have to give y'all a sinsila. That means some type of bridge from the old doctrine to the new.
Right.
So that bridge is, look, I got to get y'all out of Sumerianism and put y'all into Egypt. But how I'm going to do it, I got to do it step by step. So some of the new books have some of the Anunnaki stories in it. But it's also making a distinction now.
Right.
Saying, hey, that's Anunnakis, this is the Netsiru.
Right.
Nagarus are from the Netsiru,
Right.
not the Anunnakis.
Right.
You understand? Point blank. But at the same time, some people are going to still reflect to the old books. Just like a person can reflect to any old Ansar book or any old Christian book that BABAH wrote. Right? I can show you a book right now that will fight against the concept that women was first.
Right.
Go to the what you call it? The birthing ceremony. In there, I'm like, men is first, women is hybrids. Go read it right now. Go read it for yourself. A person could pick that book up like, nah, women are hybrids. What are you talking about? Men have X and Y chromosomes. Women only have XX. XY means you can make women and men. She's a hybrid.
It says that in the birth ceremony?
Yes. Now a person, now if a brother reads that, he go, yo,
That sounds crazy. That was like, that doesn't make sense. Because we never even, you know.
Now he would put that in the book. We will listen and go, yeah. But Bob is really trying to find out this. He said, the way I teach is I scramble information around. And he want to see who going to really challenge, who going to say something. Because he's not trying to raise followers. He's trying to raise critical thinkers. So in raising critical thinkers, he shouldn't be able to say something and then people go, oh, wow, that's deep. Ask the question. Ask the question. He told you, don't believe me.
Check it out.
So why are we just believing? If you stay in the state of just believing, you're always going to be a servant to information, whether it's right or wrong, just because you think it came from BABAH. But he's trying to get us to the point where it's not just because it comes from me. Our doctrine is called sound right reasoning, based on evidence, experience, and reasoning, not believing. Right? So if you take a book and you just accept the book, you're a believer. Right? There's a thing, and we have a reading, and it says this. I'm coming to you, brother. It says this. Let's say the reading says H2O8. You heard that before in the reading, right? Is that right? Is there such thing as H2O8? Come on. No. That's a typo. How do you know it's a typo? Because there's no such thing. H2O is what? What element is hydrogen? What element is oxygen?
8.
That's all it was.
That's right.
That's all it was. But it itself is not the formula. The formula is what? H2O. That's it.
Yep.
Because if we want to put it with the numbers, we'll go H1, 2, O, 8. Because now we just want to say the number element for H is 1.
Right.
And the number for oxygen is 8. But if you just see H2O8, that is not the formula. Right? That's something you have to question. Go, is this correct? Because we know that we're dealing with chemistry now. And in chemistry, we have atoms, right? And then we have molecules. What's the difference? An atom is just the element itself. So if I say hydrogen, that's the atom. But if I say NaCl, what's that? Salt, table salt, right? That's a molecule. You bring in sodium, chloride together, boom, making salt. That's a molecule. Bringing atoms together makes a molecule. You got a question, brother?
Yeah, so the question based on what you're teaching, what you're telling us, the biggest problem that we have as raising up into that being that's the beings that we're supposed to be is pretty much the transition of changes, knowing when to actually elevate. So like what you like, and that's the question I'm saying, like based on what you've experienced and what we've experienced, like he's waiting for us to pretty much elevate so he can take us to the next level of our formation.
Yeah.
So because and the biggest problem is that we're stuck in what we like. So like we like Ansar, we stay there.
Right.
We like HTM, we stay there.
Yeah.
Like in certain parts of the Egyptian
Yeah.
teaching, we stayed there.
Right.
Yeah.
Especially like the biggest problem that I had in Boston was the female doctrine. A lot of people had a problem with that. They would fight me with that at Massac when I was teaching it, right? And so pretty much we're still having this issue with even in 2025. So like, what would you say to not just me but everybody else? Like, what would you say like we should? I mean, I kind of know myself, me, but it's not about me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's
so
right.
it's like, what would you say from your teaching experience on how to
like
Yeah, like attempt to correct these things within yourself, because it's really about you. If I'm telling you something, you don't go to that level. I can't make you do it.
Right.
So what would I tell you as a teacher to another potential teacher or student on how to kind of get to that level where you accept?
One thing I feel we need to do, which I know Baba wanted us to do, is all the student teachers need to have meetings and study sessions together. And do lemon squeeze in those. When I say lemon squeeze, I mean challenge each other. Because the only way you get sharp, still have to sharpen still, right?
Yeah.
So we need to challenge each other amongst each other, not on camera, amongst each other with our own doctrine. Because here's the thing. If you don't challenge your own conviction, eventually you're going to fall into a religion. You heard what I said?
Yeah.
You don't challenge your own conviction, you're going to turn right knowledge to a religion. When it's not a religion, it's a culture. But our culture is based on right knowledge and facts. So if it's based on right knowledge and facts, we have to know what we're doing. And it got to get to the point where if we have teachers who still want to stay in old doctrine, you can't teach. I'm sorry. Point blank. Why? Because if we're going to a certain direction and you're going backwards, you're messing up the flow for the next generation of people. And you mess up the flow of how the doctrine is supposed to be taught. Right? So we have to be strict on our teaching to say, okay, this is the point we at. And since we at this point, we can't allow other people to go and teach something wrong. However, this is where you're going to have a conflict, because we live in a day and time where we don't have communities or anything. So a person can say, I can't teach, cool, I'm just going to teach on social media. And you can't do nothing now. So once we have enough of us representing this teaching for real, and we dominate, because I did an experiment for my own self, and I just want to see how social media works. You know, some people use social media and they pay for views. Right. They pay so that when you look at their page, you go, damn, 50 million people follow this. What is clown? And it could be a clown. You be like, this person just put his page up yesterday. He got 70,000 views, followers. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, I've been doing this for years. I'm like, so, but I did my experiment, and I took a year. 1 year. In 1 year, I was able to get 40,000 followers. Fluent, easy, meaning natural people. Imagine every Sabian come together, because there's nothing wrong with propagating on the streets or online, but the social media reaches more people, right or wrong? Right. Because if you have a table outside right now, and let's say you selling online, I guarantee you sell more online. I guarantee. You say, if Baba have a new book and you put that joint PDF online, whoever's selling it, trust me, everyone's going to buy it. Because it's at the click of their finger, right? When it comes to information, we can all come together and dominate the internet. How? If a bunch of us is actually doing the same thing consistently, even with Baba's case. Let's say if we was consistent, we really want to clear his name, right? Do you really feel like Baba's name is cleared already? No, it's not. Why? Because of us. Because we're not utilizing the World Wide Web to clear his name. Because the people that talk about him the most is not the people on the street. Right. It's people on the internet. Right. So if enough of us was coming together in groups and teams and say, hey, let's attack the case and show and prove. Not just one person, a bunch of us. We will dominate it. That's the reason why certain things are dominated on the internet. Because people are consistently doing the same thing. Together as a team. When you see somebody like, you ever heard of E.T. the hip hop preacher? Anyone? He a motivational speaker. Yeah. But the point is, I'm trying to make it, they have a thing called game changers. And a lot of public speakers that you see is a part of his camp. But you would never know. Right. You never know until they do something together. What I mean is, they're training people to public speak and go to schools and teach and get paid for it. What I'm saying is, you could us as Sabians, Nawapi, we could utilize the internet and create and dominate our own doctrine. You know what I'm saying? But we have to be together in doing it. We gotta see our brother's information, teach it right knowledge, and share it. Yeah. Why are we sharing other people's stuff that's not about our culture? Seriously. If you want to dominate something, you gotta show forth and really dominate it. If you want this type of teaching to be the thing resonating on social media, we have to put the energy behind it to make it happen. You know what I'm saying? How did the Ansars become known? Because they was in people's face all the time. And that time there was no internet, right? So they was just outside all the time. Remember Baba saying, We was there when a person went to work, and by the time they got off, we were still there.
Still there.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And doing that with a whole bunch of people having the same mission, the same purpose. You know what I'm saying? All together, doing it together. We can do that on the streets and the internet. There's enough of us to do it. But the truth is we don't want to. And this is going back to your question, brother. Baba always does this when he sends the family messages. He go, what type of questions are they asking?
Yeah. Yeah.
Why do you think he's doing that? He's trying to see all the information I gave y'all, what are y'all asking?
Right.
Right? He want to know what level you on.
Right.
So we have to really take our doctor serious and be critical even of our own information, because it's important to do that, because once again, I said this last week, it could be a typo. Just because you think Baba wrote it doesn't mean that a typo can't be in there. Or even a line could be wrong. And you just accepted it. No, still be critical, because I'm going to tell you one thing. A person who don't like us, don't think like us. If a person don't like you, they'll read your book and they'll find a joint that look like error. Hold on. This says H208. Can you tell me about that? They'll be waiting for you to give a fake bill. Yeah, so H208 is this new formula that Baba gave me. You see what I'm saying? They'll wait for that. So we got to be on our P's and Q's and say, yo, I still have to check out what I'm talking, especially if it's something that you couldn't check. Right? Because I know we will say it's going to come a time when Bob was going to teach information that we can't check out. Right? But haven't he been doing that?
Yeah.
Planet Risk. Prove it. He's been teaching this since back in the days. Right? Prove it. Anyone. Prove it exists. But we accept it. But did he ever tell you how to prove that it exists? Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Go to the... I'm going to show you something.
While you're looking for that, can I just
Yeah.
ask a question real quick when it comes to the H2O and H208?
Mhm.
So as far as the what do you call it? What do you call it? Chemical makeup from
Yeah.
our water, basically.
Right.
How do you to clarify when it comes to okay, so we know that H1 and O8 is hydrogen and oxygen. But they're saying H2O. Where is the 2 coming from?
Oh, 2 hydrogen plus
That's
1
right.
oxygen.
Makes water.
It's more.
Right.
Okay.
So the 2 is there to let you know how many
Hydrogens are needed. Yeah.
Okay. And why do they say, why is it just saying O instead of O8 if oxygen has 8 protons?
In chemistry, right? They wouldn't put the number of the element there, because that's just not custom in chemistry, right? So in chemistry, what they do is they only put the amount of numbers of that particular element that's present in that form.
Okay, so it's basically saying that it's 2 hydrogens and 1
Yeah.
oxygen.
So if there was a number on the bottom of O,
Then
let's
it's
say,
more than one.
then you'll know that's 3 oxygen there. Like for instance,
Okay.
if I say O2, what's that? That's 2 oxygen, right?
2 oxygen.
Mhm.
And what's O3?
3.
Yeah, but what is it? We know it's 3 oxygen. What is it? Because it's not oxygen, it's not the regular oxygen no more. It's ozone. You see what I'm saying? So we could do this all day, but you would have to learn basic chemistry to know what things are when you start to put the elements together. And when they put the elements together, what they usually do is they only tell you how much of that element is present in that formula.
Right.
And they do this because in chemistry, it's mathematics in chemistry. So since it's predominantly mathematics, when they give you a formula, the formula, they may tell you something like how many moles are in melanin. And melanin has a formula, you know. And it's a chemical formula for melanin. Now, when they say how many moles, they want you to now add up those elements based on its weight. But if you don't know, you just look at a question like, how many moles is melanin? What are you talking about? First, and then in chemistry too, they also do this thing where if they don't give you a reference or give you access to a reference, then you would have to memorize certain things already. If anyone who went to school and went to become a biologist or a chemist, some formulas you just have to memorize. You ever see they show you movies with scientists and they on the board.
Right, yeah.
And you're like, what the hell is this? They trained themselves for years to study scientific terms that they know mean something.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It means something in that school. And in our books, oftentimes, BABAH is utilizing those terms in our books as well. And since he's utilizing it, that means that it's incumbent upon us to also know science.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I said when you read the black book and you go to the back of the black book, it's nothing but science. Nothing but science. But that conversation most people don't talk about. Right? What's a pion? What's a meson?
How about that good one?
And this is in our doctrine.
Right.
And the average person don't know. He said, why you don't know? Because you read the black book to a certain point with the stories. But when you start talking about them atoms, you left it alone.
Yeah.
And once you left it alone, now when it comes to conversation on atoms and chemistry, you're lost. And you're thinking that's not our doctrine. It is our doctrine. That's just the part that doesn't interest you. That's it. You know what I'm saying? Yes.
You said in the black book 1 or 2?
One. So, in the black book, this is what the master teacher said. This is in the introduction. It says, in time, these disagreeable beings had to decide that they wish to rule the whole planet and even the whole galaxy under one such being, Tarnush, who ruled a variety of star systems such as Draco, Aldebaran, Betelgeuse, Pleiades, Andromeda, and others, all on this side of the Milky Way. Recent discoveries have found the 19th galaxy. You heard that? Recent discoveries have found the 19th galaxy through other star systems. He says, where scientists and astronomers have discovered 4 new solar systems. 1, Falmouth, where a star is covered by matter. 2, Beta Victoris, which shows a star covered by dust and a blob below it covered by dust. 3, HR 47968, a cloud of dust surrounds, which is an infant solar system. 4, Vega, where you see a star and a concentrated spot, thin layer of cloud. Now, if you study, once you study astronomy, right? This is how you explain to people that planet Earth is real. If you look up these systems, right? Some of them, they can't even see them. But they'll get you because you like to Google it. And when you Google it, they'll say, yeah, it's there. Vega is there. But go deeper into the science. You'll find that these solar systems cannot be seen. Do you hear what I just said? They can't be seen. But their scientists are logging them as new solar system because of they'll use one system to the next and come up with their own crap, right? So BABAH, what he does is like, you know what? I'm going to use y'all science against y'all. The 19th galaxy is here, through these places. Because if y'all saying that this place exists and you can't literally see it, we're telling you the 19th galaxy exists too.
Right.
You just can't literally see it from here.
Right. That's right.
That's what they're doing. But they're giving titles for it where a dude who become an astrophysicist, he will agree with this. But if we say, oh, planet Risk is in the 19th galaxy called Elion, they go, nigga, what you talking about?
Right.
But since they got a university and it's okay for them to make up their stuff and draw pictures, and like I said, the pictures that they have of the galaxy is fake. It is fake. It's not real. You know what I'm saying? They literally have titles called the Directors of the Observable Universe, where there's men who digitally create what you think is the universe.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Because the Hubble telescope can only see but so much. And you can't see these far galaxies that they saying exist. You know what I'm saying? So all I'm saying is BABAH utilize what they teach and verify our stuff through what they're saying as well. Just the same way he could use what a person say in religion to prove something we have. So like for instance, we'll say planet Risk is real. A Muslim go, Risk is not real. We go, Quran 83, 18, and 19. Read it. Right? And when they read it, they go, and who can tell you what Elion is? What? No, you made that. No. So Muslim, what's Elion?
Right.
You don't know. I just told you. That's the 19th galaxy.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? You talk to a Christian and say, I'm a God. Christian go, blasphemy, you a damn devil saying that. Psalms 82:6. I have said you are gods, and all of you are children of the Most High. Meaning the distinction between a God and the Most High. I'm not saying I'm the Most High, I'm just saying I'm a God, like it says in your book.
Right.
So he utilized what people think they know to verify things that we're doing, because at the end of the day, what they teach come from us. But what they do is they water it down and give it to you a different way. And when they give it to you a different way, you may not recognize it. But a master who's teaching us, he gonna recognize it. He gonna be like, they just said that. That's our stuff right there. I'm taking that back. And I'm putting it in our book. Because that's ours. You know what I'm saying? When they teach you about naphtha player, that's our stuff. So if we have the oldest astronomical observatory, right, called the naphtha player, who are you to tell us about galaxies that you don't know about? Didn't the Dogons tell them about Sirius C? And did they have a Hubble telescope? No. They just was in connection with beings from there. So when we tell people the 19 galaxy exists, they may not be able to see it right now, but we in connection with a being from the stars. That's here with us right now. And we have to verify ourselves the same way they verify their crap in their universities. Right?
They'll say it's like proven by their peers.
Yeah.
Who are they buddies?
Yeah.
And that's another way they get references. Because what they do is, if I'm the one who named this galaxy after me, because you know they name stuff after themselves too. Because the Hubble telescope is named after Hubble, a person, a white man. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So our ancestors used to do the same thing. Where do you think they got it from? The air we used to call what? Shoe. The moisture.
Good.
No, that's the sky. Teflon. Right? The earth. Yeah. Right? So we used to do the same thing. So what they doing is copying what our ancestors did, but take all the names down and put their name. You know what I'm saying?
Socrates,
All that. That's all they're doing. And when Baba come on the scene, they know what he's doing. So they like, nah. Because think about it. In science, if you went to school and you did science, everything is named after a white man. Or some Asian man. You know what I'm saying? Everything you learn. When you go to Egypt, everything was named after some green men. Or brown men, right? Right? Or blue men. Or women, right? So at the end of the day, what Baba's doing for us is taking back our stance of being the original. Because if we the original, right? That's another thing. The name Nawapian. That's such a profound name that people don't get it when we say we Nawapian. Why they don't get it? Because if I say I'm indigenous sounds good, right? But what's the root of that word? Where does it come from? Latin. So we will use it, but in reality, that's not our language. So it still ties back to the Romans, because the Latins is the Roman language, right? Now, any name that people have on the planet today, where did they get it from? Black people, whatever they want to call themselves. What's the name that a black person may call themselves? Ethiopian, right? Is that an African name? No. The word Ethiopian is a Greek name. So since that is a Greek name, that means the Greeks named the Ethiopians. And the Ethiopians would act like they never got invaded. Right? You know that, right? No, we never got invaded. We have the original Bible. No, you don't. If you got a Bible, the white man brought it over there. Point blank. You know what I'm saying? I don't care how old it is. They brought it over there. You know what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is the name Nawapian is a name where if we say we got, no one can say they named us. And if you're the original people, shouldn't you name yourself? So when a person say I'm a Moor, who named y'all? You ain't named yourself there. Right? You didn't name yourself. Because Moor, what language is that? Bible will say, what is the language Moor come from? It really comes from Morenos. Right? Which is what? Spaniards' language. Which is another term for black people. And a Moor will tell you, a black Moor would say, I'm not black, I'm Moor. Nigga, oh, you say I'm not black, I'm black. What the hell's wrong with you? They think they're saying something deep. And they got a whole bunch of other people with them, like, yeah, we ain't black, we Moors.
It's like today when Dominican people from Dominican Republic and all those people,
they suffer from something different. The reason why I say they suffer from something different from the Moors, they suffer from, saying it's similar, terminology. Most people don't know the difference between indigenous, nationality, what's another one?
Aboriginal.
Huh? Ethnicity. They don't know the difference. So when a person goes and says, I'm not black, I'm Dominican. Listen. They don't know the terminology that Dominican is their nationality. So anyone that's born in the Dominican Republic is Dominican, right or wrong? Anyone born in Jamaica is Jamaican.
Right.
Anyone born in the United States is what? No, United States here. Right or wrong? Anyone born in Puerto Rico is a Puerto Rican by nationality, but not by race.
Right.
Because you could be black and born in Puerto Rico.
Right.
You could be white and born in Puerto Rico.
Right.
You could be Chinese and born in Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
Same thing for the Dominican Republic, right?
Right.
But and you got some people out there saying, oh, no, I'm none of that. I'm just indigenous. How you going to say you're indigenous like that's your genetic identification? Indigenous is not a genetic identification. The word indigenous simply means I'm first to this land.
Right.
And if you mix, you ain't first to nothing.
Right.
If you got straight hair, you ain't first to nothing.
That's it.
You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
Woolly hair, dark skin, or melanated people are the original people of the planet Earth and was everywhere before anyone came to this planet.
Right.
That's a fact. So, and you can Google that. You can chat GPT that. You know what I'm saying? So when a person goes, I'm indigenous, they looking like the American Indians, because they looked at pictures that the Caucasian gave them, say, this is a Native American. He go, that's a mixed seed. You can never be Native. I'm sorry. You're my brother, right? Native American or American Indian, you're my brother. In reality, you're my child, right? Because we know the origin story. We don't deal with what you talk about now. What's the origin? Where did the Arawaks come from? Because the Arawak didn't just come out the ocean and be an Arawak. No, nigga. I see some Chinese in you. I see some black in you. You a mixed seed. So since you're a mixed seed, you have parents. And your parents, for a person, let's say the Arawaks, you can tell the Arawaks are mixed with black, Asian, Hindu, all in a melting pot. Right? By looking at them. But these are the images that people will give and say, that's the natives of the Americans. You're like, no, the Native of America is Africans. Point blank. No one can deny that. The Olmec statues, no one cannot deny that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then some people be looking at those statues now and trying to lie. Some of those statues do have Asian features. Why? Because the Asians did come over here as well and mixed in with the Africans. Right? And then the Hindus came from the Bering Strait and mixed in with them too. Right? So there was a lot of mixtures in the Americans. But however, they gave our children, the American Indians, the identity of being indigenous in the Americas. Right? You know what I'm saying? So a lot of our Spanish-speaking family, they were more cling to that. Because they feel like phenotypically, I look closer to that and not to the African. But in reality, Africans, it don't matter about your phenotypical features. Because we didn't create the one-drop rule, they did. And we know that it's dominant and recessive genes. So the dominant gene will be the African gene. If an Asian and a black person mix, what is that child? A black Asian, not an Asian black. Black first. It's just like in here. It was a time when I remember in American history, they used to put everybody's name where they're from in front of them and then added the America at the end. So they used to say Chinese American, this American. And then for us, it was a time when we were just called the Negroes. That's it. And only it's recent they call us the African Americans, right? And even that, we know what the name African actually means. But for comprehension, we'll say, cool, we'll hold it. But do understand that Africans are the first people on every landmass and galaxies. Because even Pleiades, when you study our doctrine, the original Pleiadians wasn't white. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't. So it's so much history that's missing that people don't even realize. Yes?
So, my question is, why is it so hard for black African American in America feel that they are not African? Because I was looking at someone this morning. I'm not no African, and I'm looking at it, just took everything out of me not to say anything because they was on the internet. So I'm like, let me just pass through it for him to act stupid. It tells he doesn't know who he is and where he came from. Because I'm like, your ancestors came from Africa. Right? All over here, like they was already here. You doesn't know where you came from or where your ancestors came from. He was going back and forth. Don't call me no African. And it makes me, it does something to me for us not to accept who hear Caucasians say, I'm not this, I'm not that.
No.
They know who they are and they accept it. It's just us have this thing with us, hate among us, that we cannot accept who we truly are and how great a people we are. Because we have been beat down so much, put down so much by the color of our skin, our ethnicity. You got to find some way to disown who you are. So I just want to know, what is it that makes?
So it was a concentrated effort to destroy the identity of Africans, right? And I'm using that word because, like I said, we know what it means. So most Africans in America, they don't identify, or not most, some, because many of them are waking up today.
Yeah.
So some Africans in America who apparently, when you see them, they're black, or you know that their ancestry come from Africa, right? They have self-hate, and it was programmed into them over time by the culture. There was a time when being African wasn't cool.
Yeah.
Afro beats wasn't always around, you know. It was a time we used to be like, I ain't no damn African booty scratching it. It was a joke in school to be called African.
Yeah.
So in American culture, a lot of young, they're older now. They'll tell you it was a time when no one wanted to identify with Africa. They used to show us stuff on television with little flies on the babies.
Yeah.
It's like, nah. We thought that Africa was a place where people live in huts and lions is chasing them and all this crap.
Yeah.
So that kind of imagery got stuck in our people's mind and in their DNA, and they gave that to their children to not identify with Africa. Then Africa, right? Some Africans that's ignorant in the motherland, they be saying the blacks over there is not us as well.
Yeah.
So now you got two lost Negroes looking at each other, look similar, but acting like they're not the same because of the location. But the reality is, once you know the history of how it happened, all that is, like I said earlier, genetic, cultural infiltration. They mixed in our people, mixed in their seed, and then control their perception of what they see. So we started to think anything white is better. Anything dark is bad. Dark skin is ugly. Light skin is better. You know what I'm saying? Straight hair is beautiful. Nappy hair is bad. Up to this day in Spanish. Some racist Spanish people, right, they'll tell you, oh, don't mess with nobody con pelo malo. What? Con pelo malo, what? Why you gotta call my hair bad? They're telling their children that. So that's specifically letting you know, don't mess with a black person with woolly hair. Because we want to keep the mix or the white look. You know what I'm saying? And if you mess with a white person, it'll be a different situation. It won't be a, what you doing, Bobby? It'll be like, welcome. So all throughout all of our people, it's always taught that black is bad. And this is a concentrated effort for generations. How long was black people kidnapped in America and falsely called slavery? They say 400 years, right?
Yeah.
So it's more than that, right?
Yeah.
So check this out. How long is 1 year? If you was a slave for 1 year, isn't that a long time? 400 years to be a slave. Think about that for a second. That means you could program those people to be whatever you want them to be.
Yeah.
You could program them people to hate themselves. You could program them people to stand in 2025, and if I say the white man's a devil, they go, hey, no, white people's bad. What? Or a black person will tell you, get over slavery. Did the Jews get over the Holocaust?
No.
You know what I'm saying?
No.
Did any white people who got murdered by their own people, because they don't get murdered by us, right?
Right.
When they get killed by their own people, that's another nationality. Do they get over it?
No.
No. A Jew would never get over a German for what they did to them in the Holocaust.
Never.
But they will tell us, who went through 400 years to get over slavery. No. You know what I'm saying? So, in this day and time, in this day and time, is to wake our people up. But here's the thing, we're not going to get all of them. And unfortunately, a lot of them is out there who still hate themselves in kind. And like I said, we just have to become the new program to wake people up. You know what I'm saying? And that's all I can say, because we can't really help everybody. But the people that's like that, it's just unfortunate. They've been brain dirty. You know? And it's, for some of them, there's no way out, but sometimes they can hear somebody who kick information and they might change. You know? So it's because it's all about what you know. You got a question?
Yeah, I just wanted to add to what you just said. I also feel like the 6 ether forces, they're seeing what's going on in Africa, like people like Traore and them like coming together. And recently, like I feel like the algorithm and all that on social media, they're trying to create like that division between people on the motherland and diaspora. So like they call it like diaspora wars. So I feel like the algorithms and that on social media just trying to create that division so that we don't come together. I think
That's true. And that's why it's necessary for us to create our algorithm to bring the family together. So that passes
talking about
okay.
One last question about bringing the family together. There was one question that was asked. So going back to your question about like other teachers like teaching whatever they feel like teaching, is there going to be a time where there will be like a organizational structure? Because I feel like everyone is just trying to do what they feel like, you know, they don't follow what, they just feel like, oh, I'm just going to teach this doctrine. But there's no order coming, you know what I mean? Like there's no order, there's no organizational structure. So everyone feel like they can do whatever they want, they can teach whatever they want.
Well, in our culture, right, we have an organization, right? We have a culture, and we have an organization as well, right? We have a system of how things are supposed to be.
Right.
Here's the thing: people are free though, and a person can do what they want to do and not want to listen to the organization, right? And that's just the reality. Until we get to a point where maybe we have to do stuff like the white man, right? And what I'm saying is this.
I'm waiting.
In this sense. If you work for the police department, right? Because they have an organization on paper, right? The uniform is a part of what? Their organization. So if you wear that uniform, you represent the police department.
Right.
There's certain things that you cannot do or say when you got that uniform on. Same thing for the post office. If you work for the post office and you commit a crime or you do something on TikTok that's against the post office principles, you'll get fired. Right? So we may have to create a thing where we say, no, incorporate it. You see these Nubian men outfits? You can't wear it unless you're in line with what we teach. You know what I'm saying? For real. Oh, that crown? No, you can't wear it unless you're in line with what we're teaching. And if you're not in line with what we're teaching, don't wear it. Can anyone put a police outfit on?
No.
You get in trouble for that.
You're charged.
Can you put a postal uniform and not?
No.
Do you know they have something called postal police? And you know they got FBI agents that work for the post office? I know. You understand? So you cannot do certain things when your organization is incorporated a certain way, like a government. Because even the United States is a corporation that's incorporated a certain way. So we would have to maybe incorporate things on a certain level and say, you know what? But that also means we have to keep our bylaws and things a certain way where a person can go to look at the laws within your organization. Because if you have an organization that's like LLC or whatever type of organization you want to set up, right? Like the church, whatever. If you have your bylaws and all these things to say, this is our dress code, this is our attire, this is what we do, this is what we stand for, this is our principle, this is why we do this. Most companies have that. So when you put on their uniform, you can't do nothing in it. So maybe we have to do something like that, because just giving black people freedom, free ring, they don't disrespect you. But they don't disrespect the police. They don't put that uniform on. They don't disrespect the post office. They're not going to do that. And what other company? The Brinks trucks. You can't put their uniform on if you don't work for them, right? Because you can get in trouble. So one thing with our people is, as long as they know they're not going to get in trouble, they're going to do what they want to do. Because the only ones most of our people respect is them. Honestly, you and a black person could be fighting, and if a black person come and stop y'all in that uniform, y'all gonna stop. Sometimes if that black man stop y'all or try to stop y'all, he don't got that uniform on, y'all not gonna stop. You understand? So you also need a policing system for your organization as well. You understand? And if you study certain communities, like if you go to, let's say, Brooklyn, New York, there's a certain part of Brooklyn that's ran by pale Jews. They have their own police in that area. can we not do similar stuff?
Mhm.
Yeah. So if you walk in their neighborhood, they can, hey, what you doing here? Because they know that the house is here is Jew. What are you doing here? You see that?
Yeah.
When we had the Ansar Law community, that's how it was set up.
Same thing. Yep.
So since we don't have a community like that no more, people really could just do what they want to do.
Mhm.
And that's just the unfortunate thing about this day and time. And really, how we function as a people is better together as a tribe. We work better like that, you know? But some of us are not going to always do it because everyone didn't join the Ansar Law community, right? Only
Right.
some people did.
You're right.
So it's always going to be people on the outside, but as long as we have things set up a certain way with legality, where you can't just put our stuff on or even say what we say, it'll change the whole dynamic of that type of situation.
Mhm.
And I said white people because some things that they do, we can take from them.
Yeah.
Like for instance, Bible taught us in the, he said, don't learn spirituality from them,
No.
but they can't teach you that, right? He said, don't learn history from them, because they're going to lie. But vocational stuff, you can. If he's a plumber, and he's teaching a plumber class, and you want to be a plumber, learn from that white man.
Yeah.
He's going to show you how to do it.
Right.
If he's an electrician,
Yeah.
and he got an electrician course, he's going to teach you, he ain't no lying in that right there. You know what I'm saying? But if it's about your history to say who the first people, no. Don't learn from him. Because when it comes to stuff like that, he's going to lie.
Mhm.
Mathematics, you can learn.
Mhm.
Those are practical stuff. Well, science, on a certain level, you can learn. You know what I'm saying? But when it comes to history and spirituality, no. You know what I'm saying? Organization, we know they organize. Right or wrong? Right or wrong?
Right.
And they learned that from who? Us. We forgot. What do you think masonry is about?
Mm.
Think about it. Masonry. The original Masons is where? The Egyptians. When you look at the Egyptian statue, you see them with an apron on. You see them with the collar on. Standing a certain way.
Mhm.
When you look at the presidents and all of them, you find out most of them guys are Masons. And they learned from the Moors who taught them at a certain point in time. You know what I'm saying? So they took a lot of things that we taught them and they use it to benefit themselves and isolate us out the box. That's all they did. And in this day and time, what we're trying to do is just take back our stuff and come back and work for, of, and by each other. That's it. You know? But it's going to take time still. Go ahead.
Yeah. Another thing people were saying we don't get along is because we are like of different species, which I get, but I also feel like white people also have different species, right? But they come along, they come together. But for us,
Let me say this. When we talk about species, all humans on this planet is the same species, right? However, we're different genetically based on our genetic expression, right? So now, within the blacks, what white people have that black people are missing, they have preferential treatment.
Mm.
When it comes to their race, they have preferential treatment, meaning they're people first, all people second. Black people don't have that in their race. We are open to everyone, and whoever come in line first gets the digs. For them, they will lie and say this person was in the line because they was white.
Mhm.
Because they want to make sure they people get help. They be doing it in front of the world. They'll do this. They'll put a game show on. In this game show, people win millions of dollars. If you do the ratio of how much people win on this game show, black versus white versus Asian, you're going to find that more white people are winning. So right in front of your face, they doing white magic and making white people rich. Right in front of you. You know what I'm saying? Who wants to be a billionaire? All these little game shows. Those are game shows purposely set up to make other white people rich. And once in the blue, they'll throw a bone to one of us.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
yeah. So would that mean that, like, I feel like from what you're saying, I feel like Ashok is it's a good thing, but it's also our downfall.
Mhm.
Like I feel like we are too open. Like that's kind of like how slavery happened, right? Isn't kind of like we're just very open to everyone. We just let everyone come, and we are like what are pacifists. We're like we don't really fight back. I feel like.
Here's the thing. I'm gonna tell you what Ashok. People misconstrue Ashok. Ashok doesn't mean to bow down to nobody. But let me read what the message said. He said, Ashuk is a verb, action. It is patience with others, tender towards other Nuwapians. Right? Nuwapians, it is not lust, it is not sex, it is not greed, it is not selfishness. It is what Pa Neteru has for us, and it is the reason we still exist.
Right.
It does not embrace jealousy, hate, demonstrate ego, pride, or practice aggression to others. Ashuk has you treat all Nuwapians kindly. It does not get upset quickly.
Right.
It does not slander or seek its personal desires. Ashuk is content and does not contemplate vengeful thoughts concerning other Nuwapians. Right? Ashuk does not revel over oppression, but over freedom and ma'at, justice. Ashuk accepts whatever one's other Nuwapian says as fact, but turns away from the hypocrites, pretenders. You heard that?
That's right.
I said, Ashuk accepts one's another Nuwapian's way. Ashuk accepts whatever one's another Nuwapian says as fact, but turns away from the hypocrites, pretenders. Ashuk is long-suffering and eternal across the eons of time, yet will not let Apep, the devil, and his evil seed,
right.
the slaves, take advantage of them.
Right.
You hear that?
Right.
So, no, we have Ashuk for our people and for other people too, but we will not let them devils take any advantage of us.
Right.
That's Ashuk. It's not this, oh, I'm going to be nice to you. No, I'm going to be nice and respect whoever respect me.
Right.
My forefront is going to be like this. We love all people. If you go to the Tibetan website, they're going to say, let's say the Dalai Lama. You say the Dalai Lama for the Tibetan people. But if you go to one of their temples, right, you think they're going to push you away?
No.
No. But they are going to tell you the rules. Yo, women with the short skirts, put this on.
Yep.
Y'all ain't wearing that in our temple. Brothers with the, oh, you don't got none on your head, you need to put this on your head. When you go into their place,
Right.
you're going to follow their rules.
Right.
Same thing with us.
Right.
When you come amongst us, you're going to follow our rules. Because that's our rules. Right? But they're not going to do it in a way to aggress you.
Right.
It's going to be respectful. Someone standing there, hey, oh, sorry, you cannot wear that skirt right there. Just wrap this around you. They're going to do it in a nice, peaceful way. You know what I'm saying? Right?
Yeah.
But
So-
that's Ashuk.
Yeah.
That's still
But they're
Ashuk.
still
Exactly.
allowing you in.
Exactly.
Right.
But
So
you
it
still
says-
gotta accept their way.
Yeah. So Ashuk is long-suffering, eternal across eon. Okay. By Ashuk, it never means to be weak,
That's right.
passive, or stepped on.
Mhm.
So, no, we didn't get conquered because of Ashuk, right?
Mhm.
Ashuk is power, strong in ways of Wunuwa. Pa Ashuk will still glow when all else shall be silent. Wunuwapu will still glow triumphantly. You have to be Ashuk if you are Pa Pa'ut. If the true Nuwapians from the ancient Egyptian order, children of Pa Neteru who are with Pa Munzal, Amundu Biakatar, declare that they are our spiritual offspring and chosen to make that journey through the stars, let them be true, real to self and kind. So, who is our utmost thing that we put before everybody else? Self and kind. That's the thing that white people have. They put their people before everybody else. That's not a wrong thing.
Right.
It becomes wrong when you purposely doing stuff to make us fail.
Right.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's when it becomes racism. Racism is a system that they created to benefit what?
Them.
White people.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And it becomes evil when they start doing things like talking about you in your face. Now, I don't want them niggas here. Da da da. All that type of hillbilly crap, that's more evil now. You know what I'm saying? Because now, not only are you trying to secure yourself for your people, which is okay, but now you got to throw out your words and talk about us, and we ain't bothering y'all. You know what I'm saying? Now you want to stop us because we're black. You know what I'm saying? That's when it becomes a problem now. But to be for self and kind is not a problem. That's how all animals are in nature. You know what I'm saying? Lion prides are for that lion pride. You know what I'm saying? And every other animal follow the same code. So it wasn't Ashuk that made us get conquered. Our people forgot what that term means. You know what I'm saying? But you had a question? Oh, okay. So that pass the class to my brother. Oh, pass the class to my sister.
Right.
I mean, like, my fucking
That's good. It's good. It's good.
Bro, that.
Right.
Earlier, the brother mentioned how he was having a tough time of people battling when he was talking about the sacred feminine doctrine.
Yeah.
And the reality is, regardless of what we teach about, you know, anytime that shakes up their foundation of lies that they've accepted for so many years, they're always going to get mad, no matter the subject. However, us as Sabians, it's important that we still continue to teach to those who are willing to listen and make sure that we acknowledge where the information originally came from. Because what's happening is that there are people out there, for example, Tiffany Haddish, that are reading our books, or maybe someone slipped her a book and she's going around, and what she's saying, you know, teaching about when it comes to sacred feminine and her mixing with other men, many men, and what happens to her is correct, but the false narrative is that it's being pushed as if this is something that she made up on her own, like that's her theory. So we can't allow other people to come in, read our doctrine, and then go out there and spread it as if it's something that they came up with on their own. I don't know if any of y'all have seen that.
Yeah, there are a lot of people like that.
Exactly. And so many people are accepting it, which is nothing wrong with that. But when we taught it, well before it, they want to fight us to the end.
Right.
So with that, I want to open up with a portion from the Sacred Feminine Lotus of Life. And we do have one book available for sale for anyone who needs one. Male or brother or sister, you are welcome to purchase it, you know, because it's important that we both know the sacred feminine doctrine. And as sisters, it's very important, as BABAH has mentioned, that this is our Bible. So it's important that we know about ourselves, that we read it, we digest it, we study it, we share it, we teach it, because it's our responsibility to make sure that we get this information out, because we are the ones who write our story over the next 24,000 years.
Right.
Yes, brother, were you about to say
Yeah.
something?
What can we do in that situation? People that are sharing the doctrine like their own. Like, what can we do to fight back?
Well, you're not necessarily able to fight back, but what the brother was saying earlier is that if we are making sure that we as teachers are out there and getting the information out there on different platforms, whether it's on the streets or whether it's online or books, or, you know, if we have a system of making sure that the doctrine is getting out there firmly, that people will know that it came from us first. So we have to have a strong presence, whether it be when we're propagating, you know, outside, or whether we're doing it on social media or online. If there's many of us doing it together and we have that strong presence, that in itself will combat that.
Right.
So we started from verse 702. Feminine, protect your sayem, khatat, divine body, inside out and outside in. Feminine, remember you are liquid, maya, water, and masculine is dry, earth. 3/4 of this planet is water, and only 1/4 is land. Just as you see with the chromosome stems, feminine, X, all 4 stems, masculine, Y, only 3 stems, missing 1 stem, making the masculine 1/4 and the feminine 3/4 to make 4/4. 4 plus 4 equals 8. Sabab, or Geb, is masculine. Earth, and Natat, or Nut, is sky, wind, breath, which is air, and has oxygen, or O8, 8 ogdols, octave. Oxygen, colorless, odorless, gaseous, chemical element. It is essential to life, processes, and to combustion from combust, meaning to burn, and that is the heat in feminine's raham, womb, and the heat in feminine's famam, mouth. Oxygen is the 8th element on the atomic chart as the 8 ogdogs, the 8th octave and symbol of infinity. Y'all remember the symbol of infinity? that a lot of people like to get, yes, exactly, it's like an H, but it's
Sideways.
sideways. Exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
So know the reason masculine age faster and die sooner is because feminine have 8 telomeres and at the tips of their chromosomes, while the masculine only have 7 telomeres and at the end of his chromosomes. The telomeres control the aging of a person. The chromosomes are the microscopic rod-shaped bodies carrying the genes. The genes are the units in the chromosomes by which hereditary characteristics are transmitted. Deoxyribonucleic acid, or DNA, is the basic chromosome material containing and transmitting the hereditary pattern. Ribonucleic acid, or RNA, is the essential component of all living matter. One form carries genetic information. Your health, your mental state of akal, mind, your physical structure, your life, how long you will live, is also passed on by your YAANAN genes. So when you mix your genes with the masculine, you exchange all of the above. All his 4 generations mixed with you. That is health-wise, that is mental state, and how long his Yasar family lives. All this is affected by the exchange and contact with or between bodies, fluids. It is best to know his and or her genealogy, his or her line age, lineage, his or her, her, its age, heritage, that which is inherited from one's salafu, ancestors, ancestor, persons from whom one is descended, ancestry. You have inside you active right now, back 4 generations from both your mother's genes and your father's genes, and all of the persons those 4 generations exchange fluids with. So how long you live is an actual fact determined by all you mix with and whomever your salafu ancestors mix with. So feminine, for this upcoming 24,000 years, our new story, which is recorded by feminine by way of her mitochondrial DNA, the recorder of our race, genealogy. So it is the feminine who writes our story and renew it every 24,000 years. The feminine, after 400 years of mixing and diluting her YAANAN genes in others, must rebuild our divine DNA and must start by protecting the young feminine of our race. And from mixing with regressive genes, even in our own Salal race, after rape by Caucasoids, and then being trained to desire his image in our own. So, as you most seek a lighter skinned mate than themselves to breed with, our feminine must learn to seek stronger melaninites to rebuild our race genes. This gospel of YAANAN I reveal to my blessed children. Pa Munwaku M, Pa Shabat M, Yamasku M Munwaku. The Nuwapians of the tribe Yamasu of Nuwapians. And just what makes the feminine divine is what takes place in her womb, which is linked to the Waku Makwan universe. Just as the birth of a universe in the omniverse, the great mother, as her belly and raham, womb, is a vacuum, ball-shaped, so also the root seed of a universe being grown attracts material into a world to become a tapal world. So also in the raham, womb, the ovum, seed, or egg attracts the sperm, semen, and then turns or whirls into a person, a worldly being. My blessed children of Wunuwap, this, my gospel, is reaching inside you to awaken the divine you. And so in both, it expands or grows as it rotates like a nebula or new babe. Y'all remember what a nebula looks like? It looks the same as a baby inside of the womb. It has a similar shape. This is a picture of it. On this side is the nebula. That's the nebula within the universe. And this is a baby growing inside the mother's womb. You see the similar shape. So you see what happened in the birth of this one universe is the same thing that happens inside the feminine. the cycles of growth and expanding into living beings, or Mikwatat, Misbatat, Miahat, planets, stars, moons, and so much more. So as this universe birthed this mishmash sun, and placed in the center of this solar system, also the mother births this sun, S-O-N, and places in his center a solar plexus, central sun. So in human beings, the early development stage of pregnancy is the embryo stage. So this also is the early development stage of a Wahu Makwan universe. Since natural nature, science maintains that natural nature and all its universes or multiverses are living, organized rational beings. From the standpoint of original creation and birth is the exact same. This does not take place in the masculine, only the feminine. A nebula universe is an embryo universe, a universe of natural nature growing life. It is an immense physically and also spiritually living orb of gases with physically and spiritually living universe orbs and bodies as Yakasat cells and organ bodies scattered and spotted through its physical existence. Now, Nuwapians, with that, can you see how feminine is linked to the Kale Makwanat omniverse, and she is Wahu Makwan universe at work. Her body cycles work with the Luna or moon. Each month, she is Mother Nature, 1000% and other. All others grow inside her. She grew this very universe. You dwell inside, still in her womb, and always seek to re-enter her womb, attracted as matter or physical. Next stop there. Any questions or rereads?
Wow. Yeah.
Not by me. These are the teachings of the master teachers.
That's right.
I'm just relaying them.
All right. We have questions online if you want to take those, one or two, or if not.
We'll see what you're talking about.
All right. So this question, this question is from our Zamal McCary Fowler. He's asking. It's like 2 or 3 questions in it.
Oh, okay.
The first one is, how did our moon come into being? I just want to read all of them. The second one would be, is it used as a satellite now?
That's what.
The moon.
Oh.
First, how did it come into being, and is it used as a satellite now?
Oh, I'm sorry. Can you repeat the first question again?
Yep. How did our moon come into being?
Our moon. I thought you said our moon.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Oh, yeah.
That's New York.
Oh, okay.
That was New York. My bad.
No.
Our moon. Yep. So how did our moon come into being?
I honestly don't remember that off the top of my head.
Okay.
If y'all want to help with that question, please.
All right. So, in ancient times, the records tell us that it was what's called a cataclysmic or calamity.
Cataclysmic.
Yeah, cataclysmic.
Tua.
Thank you. A cataclysmic event where the Earth that we're on now was a lot larger. Something hit it,
Yes.
and it broke off and got trapped in orbit. You're going.
Tua.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
No, you striking my memory. That's why.
Right.
I wanted you to continue.
Yeah. All right. So when it broke off, it got trapped into the Earth's orbit. That's why it is considered an assistant to the planet. You read just a while ago about the moon, and that's how it ties in. That's why the moon still affects the feminine body, because it's still part of the original Earth. So that's how it came into being. And the next question is it used as a satellite now?
As far as I know, yes.
Okay.
But I don't know the depths of how they're using it.
Okay.
Anybody have information on how they're using the moon as a satellite? More information?
Okay.
No. Yeah.
You got any notes on that? other than it is. Yeah.
Sure.
All right. So now the next one, same for my family.
Mhm.
If there was a time when our planet existed without a moon, and it was, does that mean that there were no shadow hours? Example, no nighttime and endless daylight?
From what I know, the shadow hours are determined by the sun, not the moon.
Okay, that's right. Next question. How did this affect our circadian rhythms, the satellite DNA? How did it affect plant life?
Satellite DNA?
Yeah.
I don't understand the question.
All right. So he was going on the premise that prior to the moon existing, we had endless daylight, but you corrected that and said that no, it was not always
Right.
endless daylight.
Right. So the shadow hour is literally being in the sun's shadow. Not the
Correct, not the moon. So then the next question wouldn't apply really because he was going on the premise that it did affect it. So his question was about the circadian rhythm and other satellite DNA and how did this affect plant life? But the sun was always there, so
Okay.
yeah.
What's the satellite DNA?
Right. That's
Yeah, he mentioned, he said satellite DNA.
Is that
What is
Satellite DNA?
What is satellite DNA?
One hour?
Is it a microsatellite?
All right, so McCary, if you could, can you reference the scroll with satellite DNA is actually mentioned, and then we can read the teachings of the master teacher and expound on it further. Let's see what else we have. Yep, Zamal, Chris McNeil. He says, Rawbat family, what practice can strengthen my spirit and protect me from negative forces? Thank you.
Do you have access to our chants? That would be my question to you.
Okay.
If you don't, you can find them on YouTube as well.
Yeah, just type in.
Play them at 9 a.m.,
Yes,
3 p.m.,
yes,
and 9 a.m.
at 9 p.m.
But he said he wants it for protection.
Yeah, he says, yeah, he's asking specifically, let me go back to it. What practice can strengthen my spirit and protect me from negative forces? Yeah. So
That would be
chance.
yes.
Okay.
Doing the chant 3 times a day. I think I can find something on that too.
All right. All right. Couple of those statements, not questions.
Yeah.
You see them too? Okay. You go
No,
down.
I was I'm looking to share something too with him on.
Okay. All right. So I'm just checking for more questions.
I'm gonna share something with him.
Go ahead. You can do that while I scroll for the questions.
I have a question about the ugly ones.
So one moment. All right. I'm just gonna finish sharing this with him and I'll get to you, okay?
Sure. I don't think so. This is the one. This is Ashok. It's ASHUQ.
Two A's. A,
Oh,
A,
two, okay,
yeah.
yeah.
R, A, you can circle on it. Right, it's a circle.
All right.
A, S, S, H, U, Q. You should like to find it in here. Here it is. That's how you spell it. This scroll is called 3 Types of Love, and it explains that. You see how it's spelled? Okay. You can write it if you want to. You got something to write. All right, so we'll wait for your bill. I don't see any other questions at the moment.
respond whether he's familiar with our chants?
No, what I'm gonna do is type in the link for the chant. So everybody else that's watching as well, I'm just gonna type it in.
Right. Yeah, I'm not able to find it at the moment. I don't want to hold it up too long, so.
Oh, sorry.
Yes, but when you recite our chants, there is a chant of protection within the many chants as well.
Number 4.
Tua. And it's done at 9 a.m., 3 p.m. and 9 p.m. Go ahead, brother. What's your question?
I just wanted to know a little bit more about the octawords.
Sure.
Like, so there's 8 of them, right? Like the
8, and then you have the 9th that's up.
okay,
The undifferentiated one.
Yeah,
So
so-
I'll write down your names for you.
yeah.
I have it. You got it? No, very good. Look down.
So you start with Atun. And then we have what family?
Nunet,
Nun, Net,
Nun,
Nun.
Het, 4 is het, H-E-H.
Yeah, I got it right here.
Okay, okay. Cats and cat.
We can do Kakten,
Mhm.
Kat.
Niaut, Amunet, and Nial Amun.
Do you have a Patarak, the formation?
Formation? Yeah, I have that one. I'll find it for you. Well, yeah, it's one of those, yeah, the 3 sections right there. Mhm.
So what's your question, brother?
Just like, so are these like actual like these are just like tones, or were they actual like beings,
Actually.
actual beings?
Do you have Patarak, the formation?
Sure.
That's all
yeah.
else it does.
Okay, okay.
Because in there, oh, here it is.
Got it?
It gets- You can see these things differently. I'll share it with you. The beginning of the origination of each new 24,000 cycles and its 4 quarters of 6,000 years is the beginning and origin of original time for persons, places, and things. This is from Atum, dawn of the east, of the circle moving counterclockwise. So once Shawal, Shu, and Tafafnatat, Tafnut, and Mother Nature, Natat, Nut, space, sky, and Father Nature, Sabab, Geb, earth. The Sabatku, Iliads of natural nature, settles down and settles in the pools off from its burning. There, Atum, you have Tefnut, Shu, Nut, and Geb. That's the Iliads, excuse me. You want to go back to the all those. Natharu, the ancestors of the Negroids, started being born after Pa Haman, the Ogdod of the sea, Nu, which is the primordial waters, to Nun-tat, Nun, Heptat, Hak, Peptat, Kak, Amun-tat, Amun, the deities, Rege-tat, and their Nutatku, seeds on Tahat, earth, from the deep, Pa-Sabatku, the Enneads of the earth. Does that answer your question?
So this what you read was the Enyad, right?
No, that was from the Ogdods. The first one was the Enneads.
So
The
these
Negroid race was born, or eventually born out of, or from the Ogdods.
Oh, okay. That was that.
And Tamatera. Any other questions in the room?
Radu. Wadu Mokya.
Wadu.
That's what's the name of it. Travel safely.
All right. And with that, I pass the class to my brother Sobek.
Zamal-tat. Right. All right, Rob back. We saw.
Rob back.
Appreciate y'all hanging with us today. We're not going to be too much longer. If you have any questions? Yes, to it. Move that time.
Could you please explain, because Friday you was doing the circle with the
Wow.
sun?
You scared me. I was just thinking about that. I wanted to go over the cycles. Okay. All right, good. You scared me. Plus, I wanted a chance to write on the board because everybody else was writing on the board. So I want to get a chance. Let's go back to that verse. Huh?
It helps to have a visual.
It do. It definitely does. Let me go back to that. That is really amazing. I was thinking about that. I was like, if somebody asked a question, we could go over that. Let me find it. Okay.
Which book is this?
This is coming out of Actual Fact number 108. Looked out, made it back to you?
Yeah, do it.
Okay. The proof, go ahead, find the BABAH YAANAN. So it's talking about the cycles, right? So I'm going to go with, I'm going to start with verse 5, and we're going to stop at verse 9, because that touches on what we'll talk about. So verse 5, the master teacher, BABAH YAANAN, is explaining 9 and 6 and the cycles that are related. Verse 5, the number 9 or 9 represents the true, positive, and absolute natural nature. And the number 6 or 6 symbolizes the negative, that is, unnatural nature. Naturally and factually, man's kind, made on the 6th day. Then represents the Sumerian deity Tammuz, 6. That's Tammuz in the Bible is actually one of their months. It's a month in the Jewish, right? His name is Tammuz the 6th, 37 and 61 BCE. 6. The Shanan, circle of Bada, space, Madad, material, and Wakut, time, is called the circle of order and of Dawarat, cycles, the Zalat, essence, the Dawar, cycle of time. These are the circles, and it's all about the 24,000 year cycles of 4 6,000 year cycles. Verse 7, you have 4 grand cycles, or 96,000 Shamutat years. 8, you are now in the new 24,000 year cycle, starting after the year 2000 AD, which was the year 6000 of the Adamite calendar, to separate the 2 cycles of Najam, order, and Babel, chaos. I'm stop at 9. 9, the cycle of order is also the cycle of cosmos, and the cycle of cosmos is also the primordial chaos. 1 is bara, space. 2, madad, material. 3, wakut, time. And then you have a line, which is najam, order, a line going over to Babel. This order and chaos is divided by these 2 cycles each. 2 of order and 2 of chaos. So I'm going to draw it, because it's, you have to watch how the master teacher is actually explaining it. So, let me see how they can see it. I'm just going to turn it to this. This is coming out of the proof by way of partner BABAH, YAANAN. Actually, fact 108, so I need to move it just a little bit. All right. Which was right. Let me just check real quick. Okay, good. All right. So now what we're going to do first is the 4 cycles of 6,000 years each, right? So that goes like this. You can see it, that's actually, okay. So I'm gonna start it right here. Right? Now, that right now you're looking at a dawar or cycle. So as I was saying in class, each of these dawar or grand cycles is broken up into 4. So you'll have 2 of order and 2 of chaos, giving you 4. Right? So I'll just put 1, 2, 3, 4. So you have 2 sun cycles. Everything starts with the sun cycle. You have sun cycle, moon cycle, sun cycle, moon cycle, which ended in the year 2000. Now we're at the first sun cycle of the next 24,000, right?
It goes clockwise?
Yeah, no, it goes counterclockwise, right? Just, well, I'll draw it out, but I won't draw it out. So, once you do the 6,000 years, right, you actually complete one dawar cycle, which is called a grand cycle. Now imagine, this is us, these little dots inside of each cycle. Imagine how massive this 24,000 years is, right? That makes one cycle. Now, also, it was broken up in 4s. So let's do 4 of these grand cycles. I'm gonna show you why. Because I want y'all to keep in mind this outer ring or circle. That is the cycle of time that completes the chaos and the Babel. So we'll be here and all generations of life, all generations of life, all generations of life back here. Then the cycle starts again. So I said, this is broken up in 4, but so I need you to zoom out now, mentally. Zoom out so we can get to the 96,000. Now we're zooming out. I'm going to show you why I say that. We're going to draw another one. We're going to draw another one. And then finally, we're going to draw another one.
Your set was not perfect.
Right? So again, we do the same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Each one of these is a grand cycle. Y'all follow that? Because after you do the first one, that's a grand cycle. This is another grand cycle. This is another grand cycle. This is another grand cycle. Now, remember when I said once it completes these 6,000 years, you draw the circle? That's you pretend you're looking at this as this for 24,000. Now, because we did 1, 2, 3, 4, that outer ring is drawn again. And this is the 96,000 years. That's 24 times 4, right? 2 times 24. So what happens here, it should be a better circle, but you get it. The circle, again, just how you do the circle for the first one, when you step back into and go into a more expansive cosmos, a more expansive multiverse, you will see the same circle, but with a larger amount of time. If you look at this, they're each going the same way this went. 1, 2, 1, 2. But a massive scale for 96,000 years. So now imagine the beings that are watching and calculating this cycle of time. We have one with us now that comes every grand cycle. But then you have other beings who are further out in a more expansive universe where beings live in other realms. It would take 96,000 years to complete one of their grand cycles. So as you, again, I said you got to kind of zoom out. This will be us. The next biggest circle will be elder beings, all the way back to the what? The Zamal-tat just read. The Kalei Makwan, or Kalei, what you say? Kalei?
What?
Wow.
Makwan?
Yes. Omniverse. It'll keep expanding. The further out you go, or the higher realm that you go, it takes more time, because there's other worlds where the sun takes longer for the planet to revolve around, if that makes sense. So what we were talking about was how you look at the grand cycle, and it takes 4 of these grand cycles to total 96,000 years. So that circle that covers that will be a wider circle that covers that. Similar to if you drop something in the ocean, a rock, and then expand it out, each one of those will be a grand cycle. But it depends on how hard that thing did to make it expand out. So the master teacher is talking about the grand cycle that we have for 24,000 years. 4 of those will make up the 96,000 year cycle. That's what he meant by that. Did that answer the question, Wu-Sabat?
No.
Okay, so what is the further question?
My question is, all 4 of those are just, it's the sun cycle, or either it's.
No, that's a good
moon
question.
and sun.
Correct. Each one of the grand cycles, you have one sun for 6,000 years. Then you go into the moon cycle for 6,000 years. Then you go into the sun cycle for 6,000 years. Go back into the moon. What that's representing is 9 ether, 6 ether, 9 ether, 6 ether. Exactly. And it has to happen. It has to happen like that. Why? Because the universe that we live in right now is on duality. So it has to be 2 principal forces. And in verse 5, the master teacher is explaining that. Verse 5, the number 9 represents true positive and absolute natural nature. And the number 6 symbolizes the negative that is unnatural nature, naturally and factually mankind.
Are all universes on duality, or some universes are
Right. Things are different. Right, because when you go to other dimensions and other worlds, the colors that we acknowledge here are not the colors that are acknowledged there. The time lapse that we acknowledge here are not the same that will be acknowledged other places. So when you get to those higher realms, should you make it to be 100% Etherian, one of the things that exists here that won't exist in that realm is the body. Because you'll be 100 Etherian, right? So if you don't have a body, would you be subject to the time limit for telomeres? No. So when you go to different dimensions or different universes, there's different rules that apply. We've yet to learn of those things because we're not really asking those type of questions yet. You follow that? So are you clear on that, Wu-Sabat? Why it's broken up into 4? It's 2 of each cycle, and they have to be there. Now, when you talk about 9 and 6, I'm just going to, for y'all to see, I'm not going to keep moving the camera. So when you talk about 9 and 6, when you put it right here, let's do a 9, right? So let me try it. This is a 9. And this will be a 6. Right? When you put this, a circle around that, it's probably hard to see because I did it smaller. When you do that, don't you see this?
Yeah, it's kind of like the Japanese.
Exactly. Yin and yang, which are opposites in nature. It's the same thing, 6 and 9. So where did they get that from? Us. Because we were here first. Right? So that's what my Zamal was talking about, how a lot of the things that we did originally, in time, it watered down or got through migration, etc. Their comprehension of it, it became their rules. But because it was in their land, they would actually name it whatever they wanted to call it. But you see where they get it from. Okay. All right. You have any other questions? Oh, my bad. From page 9 and 10. That'll be verses 5 through 9, where the master teacher is talking about order and chaos and how they're actually linked. And we know that too, because on the field of all, or on the field of Pa'ut, both exist, right? The terms we use for certain actions or certain people will say negative and positive, just to process what we're going to talk about. When you say negative and positive, if the person is here, that's negative, right? But another being is here, wouldn't that person be more negative? And to this person on the bottom that's negative, the person on the top would be positive. Same thing, the person here that's negative, a being that's further up would be more positive. However, they're all on the field of all. There is no way to get out of that thought process. So just to give us clarity on the nature of things, we have to look at it from that view. To a Wu-Sabat.
Okay. Since the
Mm.
moon cycle is
Yes.
out right now, and
Yes.
when it was in, it caused so much chaos.
Yes.
Will, since we're in the sun cycle, will
Yes.
the sun cycle cause more positivity as much as the moon cycle cause chaos?
Only if we act on or react to the vibration of the sun cycle. So again, just because the sun cycle was in, we as Nagaru had to be found worthy to survive in the sun cycle. Meaning, we have to accept who we are by natural nature and get rid of the residue that has us acting other than self and kind. That other than chip, we have to learn how to burn that out. But the master teacher was telling us that in the moon cycle. He was telling us, give them back everything. Right? Even in the schools of religion, he was saying, that's not pure, this particular school of thought. I'm going to give y'all the pristine purity of this degree. So we were already being groomed to know how to let all of the 6 ether habits, nature, ways of thinking, let it go. But some of us still have residue. So again, those of us who can't let it go, the dimensional shift has already happened. It happened mentally first, because everything in the mind will predate what the body does. So now that the mental shift already took place, we're now noticing the difference in people's nature. There's some people who are ascending, and with all this affirmation we have now, there's other people who are still descending. So you have those going toward the 9, and those dropping down toward the 6. And it has to be. It has to be. But for us to really feel and live as one with the rules of natural nature, we have to vibrate higher. Our frequency has to be sped up to perceive all the affirmation from the higher beings that's trying to guide us to survive through the sun cycle. If we still act like 6 ether beings, that doesn't have no effect on what cycle it is. That just means you are acting that way in this cycle. And if you're out of tune with the cycle, you perish. Unless you're 9 ether in a 6 ether cycle, you don't perish. You actually thrive, but you will be like the minority. You're walking around knowing a certain science and other people around you don't. As long as you hold on to that, you'll survive until the sun cycle comes. It makes sense.
So basically, the sun cycle will
Yes.
give you all the resources to be able to tap into it, right?
Yes.
It will just bring it. Because now I see a lot of people starting to wake up in Africa.
Exactly.
It will give you the resources, but it's also up to you to.
Once you interact with natural nature of a 9 ether or sun cycle vibration, the things that were already here, you didn't perceive it, you're now able to perceive it and act upon it. That's the whole point. It's already here. How do we know that the 9 ether was already here and we were still acting like 6 ether? Because the master teacher, YAANAN, was already here. And people couldn't perceive who he was, the incarnation in him. People still looked at him as if he's just a man. How does he know all of that? When he can actually go back in time with clarity, vivid descriptions of things that has already happened, and even more validity, he go into vivid descriptions of things that were yet to come. How would he know that if he wasn't already a part of that? And he's coming back from the future to tell the past and prepare us for what will happen. You know what I mean? So yeah, you have to be able to vibrate. You have to raise your vibrations to tap into the frequency of the sun cycle so that you can see the resources that you're talking about, right? When you work with natural nature, it's going to provide for you. And you'll know what to do when those provisions appear or when you are aware of them. That is correct. But if you're walking around not seeing life as it really is, you're content with a lot of the things that's going on right now, including the horrendous things that we're doing to each other, because you now become numb to it. It doesn't make you go, dang, that's wrong. But it's wrong for you to think that's not wrong. It's very wrong for us to think the harm that we do to each other is okay on any level. Follow? All right. Do you have any other questions? Online or? Okay, y'all have it. Got you. Okay.
this one. It's from Chris McNeil. What knowledge about our origin has been deliberately concealed from us, and why?
All of it. Why? Because us who were born now, and even 7, 8, 10, 11 generations, all the way back to, again, the beginning of the moon cycle. So all of us from 6,000 years up until the master teacher came, as well as some of the predecessors that were building blocks for this knowledge, it was kept from us because the beings who were in the moon cycle ruling it, they were the ones who perpetrated the lies, the falsehoods. They twisted and gave us wrong knowledge. And so you ask why? It's because they want to make themselves look like the superheroes or the superpowers or the greater beings, which is why they do it in all the cinemas and all the news stories. They, you know what I mean? No matter what, there's always this Caucasian person who gets the woman, always wears white, doesn't wear black, that's for the black guys, always wins at the end. He's portraying what he knows of us. So they purposely and deliberately did things and put these distractions in our lives so that we would never see the greatness in ourselves, right? One of our other, Zamal-tat Murray, he had asked a question a while ago about Thor. Was that a real deity? Yes, that was real extraterrestrial, real deity, right? And then some people go, no, that's from the comic books. Yeah, they put it in there like that. But Thor was an extraterrestrial who's one of their deities. And if y'all recall, who was that came to the government in the 50s and sat with the president? What was his name?
Thor.
Did you say it again?
Val
Thor. Val Thor was his name. Now, we know Val was an abbreviation or a nickname. What was his full first name? Valiant. Valiant. And valiant means like superior. That's a valiant guy. You know what I mean? Valiant Thor. He was actually named to give homage to the deity. Valiant Thor. Thor's valiant. You see what I'm saying? So they did all of this. They had 6,000 years to convert our way of thinking and gave us that other than chip. And some of us fell in love with it. We love the beings that give us nothing. And when one comes to give you everything, you fight with all your might. That's that sixth ether energy inside of you that's aware of who he is and who his students are. So when we come forth and start saying, listen, this is our way of life, we did this first, they weren't here, such like that, that thing inside of you that may begin to die is fighting for survival. And it comes out with your non-acceptance of the doctrine, right? Go ahead, you have a question?
Yeah, I have a question about like those beings, right? Such as Valiant or
Yes.
Like, what do they gain from, like what are they just like seeing this as a game or something? Like, what do they?
No, it's serious to them.
What's there for them to gain? Like, we can't even see. Well, I guess we can see them. We can see some of them, but my question is just like, what?
Yes.
What are they gaining from all this? Like,
Okay.
from like distorting everything and just lying about everything. Like,
Okay. One, they gain the respect and spiritual energy of those beings who not perceiving them by the name of Thor, but actually perceive them as God. So what they're gaining is the spiritual energy, right? And then when you transition, there's some of them, it's like extraterrestrials that do 3 different things. One is those that are bloodlust, so they want the body, want the flesh, so they want food, right? And you have the other ones who actually just want the energy, that spiritual energy that you emit. They actually exist off of that. You have the other ones who are actually soul snatchers. So when you give them your soul willingly, there are entities that actually eat off of that. And if for no other reason, it's so that you don't return back to the full soul. And that's the adversarial nature of them. So it's very serious to them. How do you know it's serious? Because they still sticking to it. They never deviated from that. I'm God. Right? And then the hybrid children on the planet, from Designer Gene, if you read that, they were, what's the word? They were savants. Meaning they had one particular skill set that was given to them by their makers, right? They took that savant mentality and they turned it on everybody else to make them servants. So they wanted us to be servants to them, giving all of our energy to them, spiritually, mentally, physically, because there's some of us who will work for them and will turn on you, opposite of what they do for each other. So it's serious. They weren't playing, and they still know that gospel or the gospel or religion, all of that is still prominent in the minds of many Nagaru, many people other than the Kakasu, and they want to season you
So when it's time for food, you'll be counted amongst that. Very serious. So, there was a question, I put it in our group Friday, there's a question that says, question, this is the way, talk about Nuwapu, this is the way to liberate people? And Bible says, sorry, no one can liberate a person. A person must liberate self by understanding and accepting, then following liberation reasoning as you read in what I have finally been able to teach. Question. So, was it? I'm gonna go that. I'm gonna go back. This one. So all our people will accept Wu-Sabat. Bible answers, no, no, no. Sad yet true. Many of our people love the devil race and its evil, wicked religions. It's serious. It's been ingrained in us, right? We have no word in our ancient language for religion. It's a matter of opinion from what is true. So we do not expect all Nagaru, Negroid, or Khafre and Kahu Africans to accept or even be receptive to the main principle of Wu-Sabat or Wu-Sabat. What's that? 9 reasoning and 9 mind. You have to develop the mind to be able to reason at a higher caliber, right? Because we could be talking now, somebody could be sitting here or listening, and if they're not able to 9 reason it out, it won't make the same sense that y'all get it, right? So they have been programmed to love other than self, kind and kin, be it a Chaldean, Abraham and his descendants, down to an Arab, Muhammad, and others' religions. That's it. That's it. So we can't, we're not going to be able to magically just have people overstand. They have to come to that reason on their own, which is what we were talking about earlier from the old doctrines, the older degrees, how you can tell that person that, no, we're on a new degree, but if they're not able to liberate themselves from that old degree, that's where they're going to rest, because it touched their heart. It was so good the way the master teachers deliver it, plus their DNA only goes back as far as whatever that particular degree is. So the master teacher always often referred to himself as the bus driver. And he's making these stops at different degrees. And some people get on the bus because they hear his tone. Other people get off because they can't hear the tone of the next stop. And they get off. That's where you have people dropping off out of different schools. Looked out that. You had a question? Mm-hmm.
How did we fall so far from race to where we are now?
Okay. All right. There's a couple of reasons. The main one is because we fell asleep. The last 6,000 years in the moon cycle, we forgot how to exist as non-ether eternally. Regardless of the cycle, we're supposed to stay non-ether. That's one. Another reason was by mixing in with them, their DNA conquered ours. And we began to live in their image and after their likeness, even their mentality. So those are the reasons why we fell so far from race, to the point where that we developed a very bad symptom or malady or disease or curse, whatever you want to call it, right? And that symptom that we developed from them was the blind faith. The minute we accepted blind faith, we no longer saw the reality. Yes?
Because we were born into it, our ancestors, our parents bred that into us as children, that bred that state of mind that our people are in now. Some was waking up when Baba came about
Yes.
to wake us up, and then that some have woken up but
Yes.
still went back to sleep.
Correct.
So,
Because it's comfortable. Right? Shaking off all of that wrong information takes work. Right? It takes work. It takes time. Are you dedicated enough to yourself to want to put in the work? If not, you like the movie Matrix. One guy knew what it was. He said, just give me the pill because I like steak. I want to go back. I want to go home and eat steak. Some of our people say it's more comfortable because I don't have to think as a deity no more. I'm so used to not thinking, I can just read and listen to what the preachers are saying, what the imam is saying, what the rabbi is saying. Or I will denounce all of them and not think of anything at all. I just know that I'm living, and when I die, which is an error, that's the end of it, which is an error. So they're in error through their life and even through their afterlife. And then some of us, like you said, were there at the last cycle when a being came 24,000 years ago, and somebody in our family listened then. So despite being submerged in all of the wrong knowledge today, there's a part of us that was waiting to hear the right knowledge. And when we heard it, it sprung up, and now it's coming out of us. And we need to teach our children that part the same way our grandparents and great-grandparents taught us the wrong part. Some of it was out of fear so that we wouldn't get killed, but a lot of it was because it became a part of the way they thought. And once they think it, the body, all the spiritual stuff, will be going to where the mind's eye sees it as correct. If that makes sense. All right, we have any more questions? Oh, yeah. Okay.
How do I like
Yes.
begin to introduce my family to the right knowledge? Like my family is still back home in Ghana.
Yes.
And they're still very religious.
Right.
I don't even know how to start.
Okay.
Like how?
The first thing you want to do is let them see the change in you. And if the change in you is positive, they may question, wow.
Yeah, in Ghana, they're like,
Aren't you going? You're not going back? Or just want to
I
write
I went back last summer, but I haven't gone
Right.
this year.
Okay.
Hopefully next year I'll
Yeah.
go.
Okay. Well, I mean, of course you don't want to berate your family because they're your family, at least physically. They may not be spiritually. And that therein rests the difference of the way they may look at you. Because you might be the only awakened soul in that family, the physical family dynamic, right? But again, when you see them, when you talk to them, just speak how you speak now, how you come to class, speak with that same intellect. And let them ask you if they want to. Where'd you get that from? And you simply refer them to the book. Or you read, let me read this to you. Da, 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 da. Did you know this in the Bible really means that? Let's study that word. So at the very worst, they will think you're studious. That's the worst they could think. They may jump into some eccentric thought, like, oh, you're the devil. Like, okay, so if I was the devil, and the devil said this, but God said that, who lied? But don't be adversarial, because that's your aunties, your uncles, you know what I mean? You gotta teach them with right knowledge. And as a student, you don't teach emotionally. It's literally your job, and you take it seriously. So when you say, how do I convince them? See what they're like. Where are they at specifically in their religious thinking? Is it Muslim? Is it this? Is that?
Yeah, it's Muslim, and
Muslim.
they don't even know any of their, like they don't know Arabic. They just
Because it was
really
passed down.
Yeah, they just really into. They can't read anything, but they just like really into it. And
So they into it like Salat and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be pretty difficult because
Yeah, I even sent my mom to Mecca this year.
Okay.
Because like where I'm from, that's literally that's what they see as. That's like the ultimate goal of every parent.
Right.
They want to go to Mecca.
Right.
To the.
So I mean, do you have conversations with them when you ask, for instance, what does the word Kaaba mean?
They don't know.
Right.
But
hear it phonetically. Kaaba, cube. And isn't that the shape of the structure? As a cube, you have a square on the top, you have a square on the bottom, separated by lines. That's a cube. So you say, okay, it's just a cube. Where did the stone come from? But again, you're speaking to relatives, you want to respect their feelings. So the best way is literally just to show them that you've changed. You've upgraded your spirituality. And then they go, oh, but that's not your religion. You're like, you're right. We create religion. This is my culture. This is part of my spirituality. These are the things that I need to do so that when I transition, I know my way home. And if they never change, you know what? Show them love. Be like, I got you. I'll get us there. I'll be one in the family that will get us where we got to go. I love y'all. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's how. So you don't want to convert, but you will share. You will freely share. You know what I mean? Y'all out? Yeah. All right, well, I do. Well, I shook y'all. That's what's a little lady. Yes, Zamal-tat Sharon. She said the same thing. She just leads by example. That's all we can do. You know what I mean? And they will notice. Trust me, because I was a different way as a younger man. I was very different. And when I started getting into just Islam, the elders in my family was like, what are you into? You're becoming a nice young man. I was like, what was I before? They're like, he just lives here and eats our food. You know, that type of thing. So as you progress, they will notice, and that's enough. You plant that seed of positive progression in their mind's eye. So no matter what you are, they'll still go, he's a good person. Yes, Wu-Sabat.
That's just my view.
Uh-huh.
My mother.
Yes.
My mother, all she knew all her life was Christianity.
Yes.
Now she's 93.
Mm-hmm.
And when I go see her,
Right.
I know she tries her best
Right.
to pick an argument.
Uh-huh.
Because before I got into Ansar,
Yeah.
I was like, fight for, I just.
That's what we did as Ansars,
You know,
yeah.
I got to have last word, I go down.
Because I'm right.
Yes, and even when I was wrong, I was right.
I'm still right. Exactly.
So she knows this, so she know a change in me. I come with a calmness,
Uh-huh.
and so she picks. She tries her best to
Right.
pick
Right.
to see where I'm at.
Right.
And I just smile and
That's right.
change the subject.
That's right.
And now when I did, last time I see her,
Uh-huh.
she couldn't pick because she was gonna get nowhere anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Even on the phone, sometimes she'd say something, see my reaction,
Right.
and I just changed the subject
Mm-hmm.
and start talking about something else.
Right.
So now when I call her,
Mm-hmm.
she'd be like, "Oh, how you doing? I'm fine. How are you?" I just call and check on her. So she'd get off the phone.
Mm-hmm.
We at peace.
Yes.
We at peace because she know now, she can see that I wasn't the person that she knew before.
Exactly.
She say something,
Exactly.
I was gonna go word for word.
Yeah. Yeah.
So-
We're a little rough.
Yeah.
You know, because Ansars,
They
we're a
religion,
little rough. Yeah.
and but I'm into it. It's not a religion.
Right.
So by her age and respect for her, I let
Yes.
her have her.
Give it
say,
to her.
you know.
Give it to her. Give it to him. We don't have to win that fight, right? That's a verbal fight, and that's people's emotions get all involved in that. Let them do whatever, and it will really mess them up. You be like, you all right? That's your truth. You give them a hug and mess them up. Like, it's just, yeah.
And she get me look at me like, what's wrong?
What's wrong with her? Yeah, she don't want to fight. He doesn't want to fight. It ain't about that. It's about the spirituality leading to the development. Once you develop spiritually, you see there is no fight. Because according to them, as far as they know, that's their reality. And you can only show them your reality, which is the ultimate reality. And if they're ready to accept that, they'll come around. Even if they don't ask you purpose, they're like, what's that book you was reading? And the minute they say that, give it to them. Give it to them. What's that book you was reading? Oh, this one here, hold it. We'll talk about it later. Tell me what you don't like about it. We messed them up. What you don't like about it? Yeah, like, tell me what you don't like about it. And then when they come back, they're like, well, that part was true. I didn't like that because he said this. But the spiritual part, was that right? Yeah. We agree to agree. You feel me? And it's love in the family. What's up, man? You look like, what's up? You good? You great step?
Yeah.
Okay. Yo, I appreciate you coming down. You know me, I'm brother from Boston. Appreciate you. All right?
I'll be good.
Okay, all right, what I do? What's up? Ask what's eliminate. Travel safety.
Yes, sir.
All right, you about to close it up too.
The thing is,
Oh, is it?
it's very volatile.
Okay, go ahead.
Why is Trump? You don't say something.
Yeah. Why is Trump what?
Why is Trump being called Thorn in updates?
Oh, because that's just a name that represents from a movie. If any of you have watched any of the movies, what's the movie? Damien,
Tour.
right? And the congressman, as Damien grew up, that was his last name. That's all. If you watch the movements from that movie and watch the movements from this movie that we're currently in, you'll see the similarities. That's why. That's why. All right. Any other questions? Going once, going twice, moved out, tap what you got, nothing. All right, if I could ask my Zamal to come up, definitely want to in class today, yeah. You know. I know, right? And I'll just turn the phone on. Good class, sure, brother, always. All right. Tawakkum, yep, Tawakkum, appreciate y'all hanging as long as y'all did.
See, I brought your hat twice for him.
Again, yeah. Why shook, we saw. We see y'all next week. Tawakkum for joining us as always.